What's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? Sorry, everything is everywhere today. I apologize. Everything is everywhere. I'm running around this place. How you guys doing? You did, Pixie. I'm very happy to hear that you got all of your stuff. I sent you some extra since it was so delayed. So that's my apology for making it so delayed. So you got some extra stuff in there. So hopefully you enjoy it. Florida in the house. What's going on, Ash? How you doing? And thank you, Jesus Holiday Christ. You know. My day's going okay. I mean, it's a Monday. I had to go see orthopedics for my knee today. So, you know, not the most fun thing I've done recently, you know? Not the most fun thing that I've done like recently, but it was fine, you know? Yeah, they want to do some injections into my knee or something. Oh. I don't know. It sounds weird, whatever they're trying to do, but yeah, knee problems. I need to get rid of this. Oh, that's actually quite helpful. But that's not what I want to do. No, they want to do some other... I don't know. I'm not a doctor. It's not cortisone injection. They offered me those. They want to do something different. I did get the steroid injections in my shoulders like a few weeks ago. That's amazing. Yeah, that's like the best thing ever. Like, oh my goodness, my shoulders. I've played tennis 3 times in the last week with my shoulders, so I'm so happy. Yeah. No, it's not a bone on bone thing. I have a... Sorry, all you guys that know doctor stuff, okay? Look, I spent a lot of time worried about politics, okay? And I have spent 0 times learning anything about my body. Literally 0 things, okay? I know nothing, okay? And I refuse to WebMD or do any of that stuff. because I will talk myself into thinking I have like cancer super AIDS or something. Okay. Like I know that about myself. I will talk myself into the worst thing that's ever happened. Okay. So I don't do that. All right. But yeah, they said I have a partially torn meniscus, like on the, somewhere on like the interior part of my knee. Yeah. So that's what I know is I have a interior meniscus problem out somewhere there. Yeah, exactly. Corey, exactly. This is what will happen if I try to WebMD anything. This is what I'll find out. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'll find out. I will, this is why I don't WebMD anything. All right. Because this is what I'll find for my knee. Yeah, no, it sucks. So, they offered, like, they're like, we could like reattach the meniscus or like cut off a piece of the meniscus or some shit with surgery. I was like, don't do that. Because like, I'm like, I don't know, like it hurts, but like I can still do stuff, right? And I don't want to like lose my ability to do stuff by going through like surgery and shit, you know? So, yeah, I don't know. It's some injection thing where they like, I don't know, take your blood and then put your blood back in you somehow, but like with extra something or with not enough something, or I don't know. They just like, we can do this injection and it'll help, and I'm like, okay. I don't know anything. I think with sauce. Yeah. Are you comparing me to a performance dog? Someone in the chat just said, lots of people have this surgery. Performance dogs have it. I just got compared to a performance dog. I'm not saying you're wrong. Okay. I'm just saying I don't like that you did it. All right. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just like, holy shit, is there an actual doctor requesting up on my live? Hold on. I think there's an actual doctor requesting up. Hold on. I wasn't ready to even take a guess yet. I'm going to get actual medical advice, I think, on the live. Hold on. I wasn't ready to start taking guests yet, but I gotta check this out. Hold on. I don't know. It just says doctor something and he's wearing a coat and he's in my guest request box. All right. It could be nothing, but I'm just like, I'm just saying he's wearing a coat. He's wearing a doctor coat. All right. He looks believable. All right. He looks believable. So I have to at least like hear him out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Honestly, he just kind of has that doctor-y look to him too. This also could just have been a stock photo. And he's about to, let me know that, I don't know, that I have the worst thing ever. All right, one sec. Let me bring up this. Dude, I'm telling you, performance dog is not inaccurate. All right. I've compared myself to a stripper multiple times in this live. All right.
Hey,
hello?
How you doing?
Are you an actual doctor?
Yes, sir.
All right. What's my diagnosis over here?
You got any issues over there?
I got tons of issues.
I'll help you out.
No, I was just trying to figure out. So I went to the orthopedic surgeon today, and they wanted to do some injection where they're like taking my blood out and doing something with it and putting it back in. I think it was called like PRP or something like that.
PRP, yeah. What are you getting it for?
Torn meniscus.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that should help.
Platelet-rich plasma. Oh, that's what PRP stands for.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't think you're a doctor. Yeah, that should help. Yeah, thanks. I don't think you're a doctor. I'm gonna go ahead and drop you. Yeah. Yeah, PRP. He's requesting back. Yeah, I know. That's what they told me. That's what they told me. That's what they want to do that in my knee, and they want to do it in my shoulders. They want to do it in my knee, but anyways, they want to do it on my knee, so we'll see. Whatever I can do to not have surgery. You know. He was just like, that could help. I'm like, dude, I don't need, like, tell me what this thing is doing to me. If you do it, let me know how it was. Sure. Does PRP turn you into a vampire? Possibly. But they live forever, right? Not all insurance covers it. Well, I got to find out if my insurance covers it then. That guy might have been a doctor. I don't know. He didn't sound like he was here he was going to diagnose me very quickly. I do not want to live forever. No, actually, this one's kind of a little bit long for me. If you want to be completely honest. Oh my God, what did I just do? No, undo that. Sorry, whoever was there is a doctor. If you actually are a doctor, I'm really sorry. I apologize. I shouldn't have said you weren't a doctor. That's rude. I'm sorry. You probably were a doctor. You probably just didn't understand that I was asking you a question. So I apologize. That's my fault. I'm sorry. I should have kept you all longer. I'm sorry. Hopefully you forgive me. Muskie, thank you so much for lighting up the roses. I really appreciate that. We have jumped leagues. Thank you for lighting up the donuts too. We have jumped leagues. So we are in the new gift gallery. Yeah. It could have been. I don't know. I didn't really give him that much of a chance to prove himself, to be completely honest with you. So I get nervous with doctors, okay? I get nervous with doctors because if you're spreading the wrong thing and people hear you, then it could be really bad. You know what I'm saying? And I get real nervous when people start talking about medical stuff. You know? So that's just me being gun shy. Erica and Sammy, thank you so much for the hat and mustaches. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's just me being gun shy. So that's all it is. You know, it's like when people come up start talking about like things like COVID or like vaccines or anything. I have years of experience of that conversation screwing me over. So I'm not a big fan of it. Yeah, they said they were going to check with my insurance, make sure it was all covered and all that sort of stuff. So I don't know. We'll see. Thank you, lady. I appreciate that. Yeah, they said they're going to check with my insurance, make sure I'm covered, all sort of stuff. We'll see. Anyways, y'all, thank you all for being here for so much. I really appreciate y'all. Make sure you guys, as you guys are coming in, y'all are hitting that like button, hitting that follow button, hit that subscribe button. If you guys still support Trump, you can jump in the guest request box, have a conversation. If you want to support the live, like I said, I have a fresh new gift gallery if you're over on TikTok that I would love to get working on. Even though it has gotten much crazier since I jumped up leagues. But if you guys like to help me support, you can guys go up, you can hit my face. If you're on the TikTokies, you can hit my face, hit gift gallery up there and pick one and send it. If you guys are down for that, I appreciate that. If not, I have the hat and mustaches here. That's also up there. I think it's like, I need like 8 from one person or 6 from one person. So it's already getting wild. You know, that TikTok live studio does that every single day, exactly like 15 minutes after I log on. It just goes like, boop, and goes, ah. I love your debate style or lack thereof. I hate a script. I appreciate the and not only do I not have a script, I don't even have notes up here. I'm literally just shooting off the hip up here, right? I don't have a script. I don't have notes. Okay. I just be out here talking, bro. No notes. I have no notes up here. That's not even a joke. I've never had notes ever. I remember there was this other creator who I don't want to mention who it is because you guys know I talk to a lot of creators, and they literally said they told me they're like, yeah, any like debater, any like good debater like has just like a good like set of notes to go by, and I like froze because I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I have never kept notes. I wish I could show you guys my screens. I have never kept notes. I just have a little filing cabinet in my brain, right? And someone says something and I just go boop, 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 and I just pull out that little file that I need and then I start going. Yeah, what do I need notes for? The only two things MAGA wants to talk to me about is immigration and trans people. Why do I need notes? You know what I'm saying? Why do I need notes for that? I just need to know two subjects.
How's it going?
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Awesome. How old are you?
I'm 35 and you're gonna hate me. I'm a gay Trump supporter.
Why would I hate you, sir?
Because people love to hate me.
Oh, I don't hate you. I just think you're dumb.
Really? That's a hurtful thing to say. Why would you say something about me? That sounds homophobic.
Oh, I don't think you're dumb because you're gay. I think that you're dumb because you're gay and you support someone who couldn't give a shit about you.
Oh, really? Can I ask you a question?
If you must.
Can you Google who was the first and only president who launched a campaign to decriminalize homosexuality globally?
Hold on. That launched a campaign to decriminalize homosexuality globally.
Yes.
How do you even do that?
You put pressure on nations to stop unaliving my people.
Yeah, we've done that for a long time.
Not to the degree no president has launched a global campaign.
A global campaign. All right, what was the name of this campaign, sir?
That was back in his first term.
I didn't ask you what firm it was from. I asked you what the name of the campaign was.
Just Google it.
I'm trying to Google it, sir. I need to know this campaign. If this campaign is so important to you because it's saving all the gay people across the world, then I would think you would know it.
I just remember watching Fox News that he launched just Google president who launched campaign.
Sir. This is the reason. This one campaign is the reason why you support Trump, and you don't know what the name of the campaign is.
It was just a campaign to decriminalize homosexuality.
It was just a campaign that is your most important thing that you want to talk about.
Oh, come on, Princess. Don't even get like that.
I'm not being. Why don't you go look it up, sir?
Can hear. No, can I post links on this or just send you the link?
You just tell me the name of the campaign. This is not difficult. Like, remember, like, during the Bush administration when they tried to stop all the kids from being held back and try to increase reading levels, reading grade levels, it was called No Child Left Behind. See, I remember that because it was a very important campaign that, was important for the entire United States. So.
Well, it was actually the No Child Left Behind campaign, if we're going to be honest there.
So the name of the campaign, sir?
Could you just, could I log out and then log right back in and give you the name?
Oh my God, Jesus Christ.
Why are you using the Lord's name in vain?
Why am I using the Lord's name in vain? You're a Christian gay too?
No.
God,
I'm
pick your
not.
struggle, big dog.
Oh, come on, Princess. I know you have a crush on me, but seriously.
Bro, I can see your picture. No one has a crush on you.
I can clearly see you too.
I'm not gay, but if I was, it sure wouldn't be for you. Okay?
I can see you just looking at my picture.
This is why let me get some 666 in the chat. That's why. Still there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
And just so everyone knows, while he was playing that music, he was sending me romantic messages.
Dude, this dude wants me bad, doesn't he?
And let's call him what he is. The legendary Donald J. Trump.
All right, so now I'm reading all about this thing. A bid and aimed in part at denouncing Iran over its human rights record. So this was literally just an attack on Iran for the most part. Launched by the ambassador of Germany. Not really sure how it works. It even says in here that they couldn't even figure out how to do it. Narrowly focuses on criminalization rather than broader LGBT issues like same-sex marriage. The campaign was conceived partially in response to the recent report executed by hanging of a man in Iran, who, again, Trump was just trying to go against. Reframing the issue in Iran around a human rights issue that enjoys broad support in Europe could help the United States and Europe reach a point of agreement on Iran. Grinnell called the hanging a wake-up call for a bill for... Literally, this was just a precursor to this war. Holy shit.
Was this in the first term?
Yep. In Saudi Arabia, whose monarchy Trump has staunchly defended in the face of human rights allegations, homosexuality can be punishable by death. According to a 2017 worldwide report from the International Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Trans, and Intersex Association, ILGA, the report identified 72 nations that still criminalize homosexuality, including 8 where it's punishable by death. That list includes United Arab Emirates, Pakistan, and Afghanistan, all U.S. allies, although those countries aren't known to have implemented the death penalty for same-sex acts. In Egypt, whose leader Trump has effusively praised, homosexual relations are technically legal, but other morality laws such as aggressively are used to aggressively target LGBT people. For U.S. pressure on these countries to change their laws comes to the Trump administration is working to use nascent ties between Arab nations and Israel to form a powerful axis against Iran, a strategy that dovetails with the administration's planned out role of an ambitious plan for Israeli-Palestinian peace.
You had me there until you said Palestinian.
I had you there until I said that was the one part of this all the things I read that didn't matter to this conversation.
Well, I just want to point out he was the president who waved the LGBT flag, and I remember leftists when Trump was saying he was going to do that, they said he was being racist for forcing homophobic nations to decriminalize homosexuality.
He didn't though.
Well, what's hard to do? It's like
no, he didn't even try. That's what I was reading to you. Were you not listening to any of the things I just said?
Yeah, but you talk a lot.
I read at higher than a 4th grade level. I know if you're a Trump supporter, you're not used to hearing that.
What? Just a minute here. Can I log out and log back in?
Why? I just explained it to you, sir. It literally said in there that Donald Trump literally cozies up to tons of leaders and tons of different countries who literally criminalize freaking homosexuality, who have the death penalty for homosexuality. But the entire point of it was to create a coalition for Israel against Iran. That's all it was. It was literally just a little ploy by the Trump administration to try to gain universal hatred for Iran in case he ever wanted to do an attack, do sanctions, do any of those things. Which is actually really funny that you brought that up, because now we're literally sitting here talking and we're seeing, right, in 2026, Donald Trump going with Israel to attack Iran. All right. And literally, this was a 2019 precursor to that, where he was trying to get the EU, the NATO, and all those other countries to rally around a singular issue in which they would be willing to attack Iran with him. And so they tried to use gay people as a tokenization in order to do that. Hello? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Sir, if you can't see me, I can't hear you.
Oh, I switched to another thing to Google. Can I send you a link or post it somewhere or no?
There's no place for you to post it, so...
Well, I know the
Can't hear you again because I can't see you.
NBC, like I found it on the Rebel Media.
On NBC? That was NBC article is literally the article I just got done reading. It's on the screen now. I can put it up for everybody. This is the article. This is what I was just reading.
That's not the one I was looking at. Let me see.
Yes, it is, sir. Here's the part you looked at because you're a headline hoochie, okay? Because you're a headline hoochie and you read Trump administration launches global effort to end criminalization. Okay. And then what I did was I read the rest of the article where it says all the things that I was talking about, where it literally talks, okay, about Donald Trump cozying up to Saudi Arabia, Afghanistan, Pakistan, the United Arab Emirates, Egypt, all the countries that they're saying, okay, that they're the exact same thing, and that this was only and completely focused on Iran for the reasons of getting everybody together, okay, to try to hate Iran.
But could that just be because I know the media spins things? They could have said that was what Trump was trying to do, and then a journalist twisted that around?
Nope, it was literally talked about by the freaking ambassador of Germany, who was the one who introduced the policy to the Europeans for this exact reason.
Well, how do you know? But that doesn't even just think about that there. And the ambassador.
Sir. When you're gonna bring up things, okay, it's important that you research the things you're gonna bring up before you talk about them. Okay. You don't just say, hey, I heard on Fox News, okay, that Donald Trump launched this campaign, and then you just go spreading that around, all right, as if you understand anything about it.
It came from the ambassador of Germany, which has never really got along well with Trump. So that's the ambassador of Germany's.
The ambassador of Germany that Donald Trump put in?
Like, for Christ's sake, do you know what the word apophilia means?
Nope.
Really?
No, I don't. I've never heard that word before. Is that like apple cider? I like apple cider. Especially the ones with a little, like little extra in there,
God, these lips do a lot of things by explaining. It means the ability to see connections when they don't exist.
Yes. Oh, well, in that case, yes, I'm witnessing that right now.
Yes, exactly what you're doing right now.
How am I doing that? By literally reading the diagnosis of the article that you just quoted. You just said the NBC article. You just said the NBC article, and then I read the NBC article, and you're like, you're finding connections where they don't exist. This was your article, sir.
Well, I first heard it from the Rebel Media.
You said you first heard it from Fox News.
I don't get Fox News in Canada.
You literally said it. You said those words. You said those exact words. You said, sir, I I heard them say it on Fox News. Those are the words that came out of your mouth.
Well, Kane probably did. It was on all the news medias. And I remember this was before 2019. This was on his first term, and there was no war in Iran.
Yes, sir. Understood. This is right after he left the JCPOA. So he was prepping for trying to demonize Iran, right, in preparation for the Abraham Accords.
But Biden was the one who attacked Iran, and Trump just not Iran. Let me reword that again. Attacked Hamas, and then everything was a domino effect that sort of Trump inherited.
When did Biden attack Hamas?
A joint effort with Israel.
You mean Israel attacked Hamas and we funded them? That's true.
And Trump sort of got in the middle of that because he was blah, blah, blah.
No, Trump was most of the reason for it. The Abraham Accords were one of the largest things that caused that to begin with.
But this conflict has been going on since. But what getting me a thing is, when Trump left office and his first term, he signed more peace deals than any other president. There was no war at the time.
That's incorrect. Also, there was war in multiple places. But first of all, there was war in multiple places, so that's not true. But second of all, sir, the United States president is not. Their job is not to make sure that nobody else in the world is fighting a war. Their job is to make sure the United States isn't fighting a war. And Joe Biden wasn't fighting a war with the United States, but now we are. You see the difference? Under Joe Biden, other people in other countries were fighting wars because we can't control what every single other country does across the planet. I actually thought that's what Donald Trump was running on, if I remember correctly. Donald Trump said that we shouldn't be getting involved in everybody else's war, that we shouldn't be the world's police. So Joe Biden was letting other countries fight their wars without us getting the U.S. military involved. Joe Biden left, and within a year, or just after a year, well, no, less than a year, because that's when we started attacking Iran. In less than a year, less than 6 months, we were already using the military to attack other countries. And in just over a year, we were in an actual war for ourselves. He's done nothing to end the war between Ukraine and Russia, which he said he was getting in 24 hours of him being president-elect. And now we have U.S. soldiers dying in foreign wars.
Well, let's just start there, right? The war in the Ukraine that happened under Biden.
No, that happened. I'm sorry. Is Joe Biden the president of Ukraine?
Just let me.
No, I'm not interested. Is Joe Biden the president of Ukraine?
No, Vladimir Zelensky is.
All right, perfect. Is Joe Biden the president of Russia?
No, but you're...
Okay, so if Russia invades Ukraine, what the fuck does that have to do with Joe Biden?
Let me finish, all right? Joe Biden...
Can you finish after you answer my question?
Easy, because Joe Biden was trying to get the Ukrainians into NATO. No, even though there was a pact that the Ukrainians wouldn't go, NATO wouldn't go past this point.
Incorrect.
And that's how the Russian war started. Then October 7th was a huge domino effect. And I think the United States sort of just stayed out of that altogether. But things got so massively armed, it led to one nation, to that nation, to this nation, kind of like World War I. And it was true, it was wrong for Trump to say, we're going to get out of this mess but in 24 hours with the Ukrainians. But realistically, everyone thinks when they're president, we're going to pull out of this problem. But the domino effect is there. It's like a spark of a match, and the fire expands, and then Biden's gone. You know, in defense of Biden, I think he had dementia. If he was 10 years younger, I think he would have done a better job.
All right, I'm tired of hearing this now. Anyways, okay, what year was the first year that Ukraine applied for NATO?
I can't remember. I'd
Try.
have to log out and log in.
You don't have to try. You can just guess. I know the answer. I don't need your help. I was just asking if you knew, since you're saying Biden tried to get them into NATO.
I think it was when Bush was president.
Good job. 2008. Okay. And they've been applying consistently all the way from 2008, all the way through the Obama administration, all the way through Trump's administration, first administration, and then all the way into into Biden's administration. And Joe Biden didn't once ever mention Ukraine getting into NATO. Never even mentioned it once. So why are you saying they tried to get them into NATO?
What was that general's name? He was interviewed. I'm not sure if you watched Dr. Stephen Turley, but he was basically saying Biden was warned not to do this, that there was and I want to come out here, I do not support Putin at all, but NATO would not move past this point.
No, I'll get to that point in a second. Because that's Russian propaganda. You're saying, okay, that Biden tried to get Ukraine into NATO. If Ukraine had been trying to get into NATO before Joe Biden was even vice president, okay, and Joe Biden never mentioned at any time about getting Ukraine into NATO, then how was Joe Biden getting Ukraine into NATO?
He was going there all the time, him and his son. That was the plan. That was the main thing, to get the Ukraine.
Oh, really? Can you please show me as president one time that Joe Biden went to Ukraine?
His son was there. 1 second.
What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
He works with his dad. Are you
No,
deaf?
he does not. Actually, specifically, Hunter Biden has never held a position in government one time.
I never said he was in government.
Then how could he work for his dad? If his dad is in the government and he works for his dad, that would mean that he would be in government. I don't know how government works wherever you're from, okay? But if I work in the government and someone works for me, that means they also work in the government.
I never said he worked with his dad. With the government.
You literally just said the words "he worked for his dad." Those are literally the words you just said. You said he worked for his dad.
His dad worked with his dad. He worked for his dad. That he was going to the Ukraines, etc., and they were cozying up together.
To the Ukraines? How many are there?
The Ukraine.
The Ukraine. The Ukraines and the Ukraine.
That's what I said, the Ukraine. Like Ukraines.
Is it like the Virgin Islands? Just like the Ukraines? Oh my God. Hunter Biden worked with a Ukrainian company. Don't know what that has to do with him trying to get into NATO, but Hunter Biden worked for a Ukrainian company, which I'm pretty sure is legal because Hunter Biden can work for whoever the fuck he wants, okay? He can go do whatever the fuck he wants. So I don't know what that has anything to do with it. Yo, make sure you hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you... Oh, he left. Oh, he's gone. He just disappeared. Holy shit. I didn't even get to hit his second point. I was still ready to go on the next point, too. Anyways, I was so ready to talk about NATO expansion. Anyways, yo, make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you guys are on the tiki-talkie side, first of all, like I said, make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you haven't sent your heart me already, make sure you guys do that. And if you'd like to support the live, I do have the hat and mustache goal. We're like 7 in. Thank you guys all so much who sent those. Matt, Lisa, everybody, Wee Grits. So if you guys want those, thank you guys so much. I really, really appreciate that. And trying to keep that knocked out and keeping going. Also, we're still trying to clear out the gift gallery stuff. We have, I think someone needs like 6 of these or 8 of these. Anyways, go up to my page, hit my thing, hit my gift gallery if you'd like to hit that up. I appreciate it. If you're on the YouTube, make sure you guys also hit that like button. I appreciate that. If you like support, I do have super chats, super stickers, and pay links in the bio. Said, hey, Polly, a torn meniscus is no joke. The torn portion can get caught between the bone and cause problems. Surgery can be done endoscopically in less than an hour. Yeah, the doc explained that to me. He doesn't think that anything is getting caught right now because I don't have like a clicking or something like that. He said it would usually get like caught or like some, I don't know. He did all the movements. He said that's probably not a problem. So, but thanks, VJ. I do really appreciate that. And Geek, thank you so much for the $2. Said thank you for your reports on what is going on. Oh, thank you, Geek. I appreciate that. And Capo, thank you so much for the 10 gifted memberships. Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Capo, for the 10 gifteds. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Huge W to chat for Capo for those 10 gifted memberships starting this thing out. So I really, really appreciate that. All right, we can keep this thing going. Looks like we got some people calling in on the phone line. Since we took somebody we took a TikTok guest first, we'll open up the phone lines now. Somebody has called so many times. Actually, 2 people have called so many times. So anyways, now we're going to open up the phone line. So if you guys are one of the people that have been calling, you guys can call back now. And also thank you so much for the floating heart. I appreciate that. This is so fun. I love when this happens. I had 1, 2, 3, 4 calls at 7:41. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 calls at 7:40. Another 4 at 7:39. It's 7:42 now, and then now my phone's not ringing. All the people that were going to call stopped calling the second I get ready to answer phone calls. Hello, how are you?
Hello?
Hi.
Hi. I support Trump.
Awesome. Did you learn how to paint inside the lines also?
What?
What?
What? Did you say, did I learn?
Oh, right. I was just wondering if you learned to paint inside the lines. It's important. If you're going to be a child, you have to learn how to paint inside the lines, okay? Hello, how are you?
Hello, good.
Awesome. How old are you?
26.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Yes,
Awesome. Why is that?
because I'm against abortion.
Okay. So why do you feel a need to be controlling everybody else's body besides yours?
Well, according to my religion, it's killing the baby.
Awesome. Which religion is
Ending
that?
a life. I will be Christian.
Oh, so not according to your religions, but you're a Christian literalist.
Why is it not?
So you're a Christian literalist, sir?
Can you repeat that?
Are you a Christian literalist?
What does that mean?
It means, do you say that the Bible, everything in the Bible is true and accurate and should be taken literally?
I think there can be some figurative language in there.
Oh, there's some figurative language in there. That's perfect. So let me ask you a question. Where in the Bible does it say abortion is wrong?
Well, it says that life starts at conception.
Where does it say that?
Also,
where does it say that?
there's a pre-designed.
I'm not asking you. I said, where does it say that, sir?
I can drop that point if you want.
You cannot drop that point. Where does it say it?
I don't recall.
No. That's because it doesn't say it.
There's also a pre-designed soul for each child before they're born.
And where does the Bible say that?
I'm not too sure which Bible verse, but I'm pretty sure about that one.
Yeah, doesn't say that either.
It doesn't say that there's a pre-selected soul for each baby before they're born?
Correct.
Okay, so what does it say about that?
It gives instructions on how to give an abortion.
Oh, really?
Yep, Numbers 5. It also assigns value to fetuses as property, not as human life. That's in Leviticus.
What does it say exactly?
Yeah, so it gives a scenario in which two men are fighting and they hurt a pregnant woman and it causes her to miscarry, and it assigns that the value of that is that that the man would have to pay a fine to the woman's husband, all right, for the property that was damaged. But if he was to injure the wife, then it's an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, right? Life for a life. Right. So it distinguishes between the woman's life, right, and her well-being as being, as being life, right, because life for life. But it says the fetus actually holds a monetary value, right? That's why you're owed a fine.
And is this the law of the land, or is that law from?
That's
from
what God said. That's God giving instructions.
That law?
Yeah.
Or is that just man-made laws?
Nope, that's biblical law. It's actually in the books of the law. Yeah.
In the books of the law, it says that if a woman's pregnancy is terminated, then it's property.
That's what your Bible says, sir. You're the Christian.
Yeah, but I'm differentiating between what people do in the Bible and between the laws of the Bible itself.
This is literally the Old Testament law, sir. Literally.
Yeah, that can be law between man and not necessarily God-given law.
Oh, gotcha. So God just decided to throw it in the Bible just for fun?
I mean, stuff is depicted in the Bible. That doesn't mean it's all necessarily from God. Like,
Gotcha.
people
So
do
which
horrible
part?
things.
So which part of the Bible should I say is from God, and which part isn't from God, or should I just interpret that every way I want? Because if that's your worldview, as far as your worldview on Christianity, then I can just say that the Bible part where it says "Thou shalt not kill" is actually just man law and not God law. So therefore, I don't have to follow it.
Well, there's specific callings from God given through man.
Yeah,
I don't know
gotcha.
if that's a
But who
specific calling.
differentiates which part of the Bible I'm supposed to listen to and which one I'm not supposed to listen to?
Again, the Bible clarifies when God Himself is speaking or giving a commandment through someone, and if it's just I'm confused. So you're saying that because
Obviously.
something happens in the Bible, then it directly implies that God told them to do that?
I'm
Like even
asking
atrocities?
you that question, sir. Do I need to read the Bible for you? This is literally instruction in the Bible on how people are supposed to live and the law of the land in which they're supposed to live in. This is the law, books of the law of the Old Testament explain the law that the people are supposed to live under. I don't know how more direct you can get.
Well, I think the Old Testament was a godless time before Jesus came.
Oh, gotcha.
It was before Jesus came, so people were just kind of wilding out.
Gotcha. So the New Testament after Jesus came, that's when it's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like Matthew 6, where it says it's impossible to love money and God. And so literally tells people if they actually believe in God and follow God, they should all like pretty much resort to poverty. So therefore you shouldn't be able to support Donald Trump and to be able to be president because he's a very rich man. Actually, if I really think about it, you're talking to me on a smartphone right now, most likely, which means you haven't done a vow of poverty either. So I don't think that you're a real Christian, because God said anybody who's really searching for God would be poor.
I mean, utilizing money and loving it are two different things. I don't think Trump is necessarily the most Christian person, though.
Gotcha. But you support it.
I think it's the lesser of two evils. I think
Gotcha.
that's how
So you
it generally is.
So you didn't vote for the Christian lady to support the non-Christian. Sounds very Christian of you.
I mean, if she's supporting abortions, kind of have to, don't I?
No, because again, the Bible supports abortion.
No, it doesn't.
I've already explained this to you, sir.
You said that you said about two people fighting, and it was still punished due to some fee. There was still some form of punishment due to miscarriage.
Yes, the same way that you would have to give some type of damage paid to if you hit somebody's car.
Sure, but it doesn't support it.
Yeah. Yes, it does, sir. It literally in Numbers 5 gives directions on how to give an abortion.
Well, I have to look up the exact verse.
Yes, you should read your Bible more.
Numbers 5?
Yep. Oh, sir, I'm not going to
Number
sit
5
here
what?
while you do an entire Bible study. This is not a religious live.
Number-
This is a politics live. You can go do your own Bible study on your own. I spent 12 years in Christian school and way more days than that in church. I don't need to freaking do a Bible study right now.
What's the exact verse? Numbers 5 is the chapter.
Yep. There's a lot of verse in there. I think it starts at verse 11, goes to verse 35 or something. Maybe it's 25.
Wait, but so you disagree with a soul being assigned to a person before they're born?
Yeah, but I also don't believe in a soul, so I guess that doesn't really matter to me.
So what do you think about the experiment when people lost a certain amount of mass when they died?
Lost a certain amount of mass when they died?
Yeah, they weighed a person and there was an unaccounted for amount of mass that was lost at the exact moment.
That doesn't exist, yeah.
That
Probably because
doesn't
most people
exist?
shit themselves. Yeah.
That would still be accounted for because it would be on the weight, it would be on the weight scale.
Yeah, you also lose air because you stop breathing.
No, but all that would be accounted for.
Are you
because
saying
it
that
would
a
still be on top of
soul
the scale.
weighs something?
Yeah, I think there's an
Is that
unaccounted
really
for,
what you're
like,
trying? You're
two or-
telling me a
like 2
spirit,
grams.
a spirit has mass? That's literally what you're telling me?
Yeah. There's like 2 grams unaccounted for when someone dies.
So a soul is 2 grams.
2 or 3. Yep.
Yeah. Sure, dude.
So you don't think people have souls?
Sir, even if I did believe people had souls, I wouldn't believe that they weighed, that they had mass. Even when I did believe in Christianity and did believe in a soul, it still wouldn't have mass. Like, what are you talking about? Dude, it still wouldn't weigh anything. It's a fucking spirit.
So it's 21 grams. The 21 gram experiment. I mean, you can look into it.
I'm not going to. But
Okay. Okay. Bye.
here,
Oh, did you say bye?
no.
Oh,
Here's like 19 things that shows that entire theory was debunked.
sure. People can criticize it because of
It was literally debunked by the entire community.
No,
it was
it's not
literally
debunked.
debunked by the Journal of American Society for Psycho Research, including an addendum to the publication, explained that many newspapers had misunderstood and misread it, and that McDowell had afforded the opportunity to explain himself. Even McDowell wrote in his explanation that I am well aware that these few experiments do not prove the matter any more than a few swallows make a summer.
They applied skepticism. There's several skepticisms of it, but it was still a consistency throughout
The
the experiment.
dude that wrote the study you're talking about says that it doesn't prove anything. And then literally about 100 different freaking research agencies tried to reproduce it, and it didn't exist.
Who tried to reproduce it?
Literally everyone who's redone that. You think that one guy did a study in, what was this, fucking 19 whatever? Like, this dude, like, forever ago did this fucking study. This is nowhere near new, and everybody just like the dude was born in 1866. You think they just took this dude's word for it and never fucking redid the study?
1907, but I think it was just unethical.
Really? Because
so
I
people
have
didn't
his
reproduce
picture with the words, was born in Glasgow in 1866.
it. No, the studies were done in
I didn't
1907.
say when the study was. I said this dude was born in 1866.
Okay.
Yeah. So when people do studies, okay, and then other people go and do those studies, and then other people go and do those studies, and then other people go and do those studies, and then other people go and do those studies, and then other people do those studies. That's what's called peer-reviewed research. Okay. Where it's done over and over and over and over.
They didn't use humans. That was the only one that used humans.
Yeah, that's a lot.
No, I looked it up. I couldn't
When?
find any other ones because it was found unethical.
Yeah, weighing people is unethical. That's what you think?
When they're dying.
That you think weighing people is unethical?
Yeah, when at their moment of death, that's what people. Well, that's what I'm not saying. What I think. That's why people didn't reproduce it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They use animals, and obviously those don't have souls. So
Pointed out that weight loss was due to the cessation of breathing and blood flow, causing a rapid release of moisture, perspiration from the skin, not a soul leaving.
I disagree with that.
I don't care what you disagree with.
How does air doesn't really weigh because
Dude, this entire
just
study
already
was 6 people.
Air wouldn't weigh that much because it's already in the environment.
This entire study that this guy is talking about is 6 people. 6.
It's hard to get willing participants.
6 people. This guy's taking a study of 6 people from 20 years ago, saying that because they lost lost fucking I less than an ounce of weight and saying that's a soul.
Yeah.
Guys, if you're ever wondering how Trump won, you ever like sitting back and you're like, man, how did Trump win? Just remember this conversation. Okay.
People should have ran Joe Biden again.
He literally just said that air doesn't weigh anything in a natural environment. That's literally what he just said.
The constant outside of the bodies is full of air. It would be like the air would be pressing down on the body. That makes no sense. Anyways, why did y'all run? Why didn't y'all run Joe Biden again?
Shh.
What?
Sorry, that just like actually gave me a headache. Like my brain couldn't even. I couldn't even.
No, but think about it. If the air outside is already in equilibrium,
please stop.
The air inside would just.
All right, sir. All right. Yep. Whatever you say, big dog. A soul weighs half an ounce, and yep, you nailed it.
Thank you for conceding.
All right. Well, I guess you should like have a good one or something.
You too.
Mm-hmm. Fuck me, dude. Shit. It's just crazy. Like I went to Christian school for so long and so many years of church, and nowhere in there would I be like, man, you know how much a soul weighs? About a half an ounce. In case you were wondering. That was wild. Yeah, I didn't know RFK's brainworms were contagious. Y'all, make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hit that like button if you haven't already. If you're on the TikTokies, it's getting up to 100,000 likes. If you're on YouTube, you're going to get a hit it once, and I really appreciate that. It really means a lot, and thank you guys so much. If you'd like to support the live, I do a super chat, super stickers, pay links in the bio, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, are all at Polypolitics. Also, if you guys are over on the TikTokies over there, we're almost halfway through the hat and mustache goal. So if you guys like support, I really appreciate it. That would really, really help. I'd like to get through a few of these goals today. We're already been on an hour, and we're nowhere near to finishing off the first one. So if you guys would like to support, have some coins, burn some hole in your pocket, I would really appreciate it. Help me to keep going, and it helps to boost the live up so I keep getting people in here. Also, speaking of which, make sure you guys hit that send those heart me's also. We're on like 83. We should have to be higher than that. And thank you so much for the jewels. I appreciate that. FTT, thank you so much for the clapping seal. And Amy, thank you so much for the $5 on the super chat. Says, keep feeding the facts, Polly. We love you and appreciate you for all of your hard work, including Ari. Thank you to both of you. Thank you so much, Amy. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. Also, just James and Kathy, thank you, and Tati, thank you so much for those hat and mustaches. We just hit that 50% mark. Only 11 more to go. We got this. We can do this. And we're just go straight past 199. Let's just go straight to 150. Let's keep this thing going on the likes. I appreciate you guys. Hello, how are you?
Hello?
Hi, how old are you?
12.
Well, at least he was honest. I would rather be honest and lie than be honest and be like, too young instead of what they normally do is lie about their age and then mess up with basic math. So I guess that's a little bit better. Oh my goodness. All right, we're gonna keep this thing going. Really appreciate it, Tara, Jolie, and Jolie, and Willow. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Hello, how are you?
Hey, Don.
Hi, how old are you?
I'm 40.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Yeah, I do.
Awesome. Why is that?
Support what he's doing in Iran.
Okay, and why would you support that?
Because I don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon or a ballistic missile program, and I don't want them funding terror proxies.
Awesome. So what does that have to do with what Donald Trump is doing? Because he's not stopping any of that.
How is he not stopping any of that?
Well, they already said like last March where the DNI said that they weren't trying to build a nuclear weapon. That was backed up by the intelligence reports of over 50 different countries. In June, they bombed their nuclear facilities, where Donald Trump said they completely obliterated their nuclear facilities and they were set back at least 1 or 2 decades before they would be able to build a nuclear bomb. So therefore, there's no possibility we're at war going after nuclear weapons if that's not possible. Okay. They also said they weren't trying to build intercontinental ballistic missiles, right? They already did have a stash of ballistic missiles, and they still have a stash of ballistic missiles that are still ready to launch, ones they've used against American citizens, against Israel right now. And it won't be hard for them to rebuild that stash, right? Even though they've done some damage to that, but they didn't have ones that were able to reach super far and definitely weren't a threat to the United States, right? What was your third point? I don't even remember anymore.
Well, we know that Iran lies a lot. They literally said that they didn't have ballistic missiles that go over 2,000 kilometers, but they was able to strike one of our bases that were 4,000 kilometers away.
Incorrect.
And it was reported on the news.
No, it was reported that they attempted, to shoot ballistic missiles at Diego Garcia, one of which completely failed and barely made it 500 or something like that. And the other one was shot out of the air well before you would even see that it'd make it possible. So neither of them got hit. None of them even got close. I don't think any of them went over 1,000 kilometers.
Well, one of them did. Well, this was reported by CNN, where they said one of the missiles made it to Diego Garcia. And
First of all, not only do we have the U.S. government showed no proof that actually happened, but Iran says that they never shot a missile over there anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Iran is a massive lying country. Well, not Iran, my bad. The Islamic Republic, they lie a lot.
So does our government.
Same people that try to get a deal where they try to say, oh, if you want the blockade to be released, they want it to completely enrich. They wanted sanction relief, and they wanted American to pull out of the Middle East. Like all that stuff was insane.
You mean Iran wanting to do what a sovereign nation wants to do is insane? I don't know why that's insane.
Do you want Iran to have nuclear weapons?
Absolutely not. That's why I'm mad that Donald Trump pulled us out of the JCPOA and got us in this situation to begin with. If he had just kept in the deal that Obama had made for us, then we never would have had that issue, and then they wouldn't be even trying to enrich uranium to a point where they had nuclear weapons. But Donald Trump put us in this situation, and now you're mad when after Donald Trump bombs them that they want a nuclear weapon. I said this well before the negotiation started. Donald Trump made it more likely that Iran gets a nuclear weapon, because before they were willing to work with us and they were willing to negotiate with us as long as we were able to release sanctions, bring them into the Western world, open up their trade. Okay, they were willing to work with us. Now they're not willing to work with us because both times that they've tried to negotiate with the United States has bombed them. And what they've realized is that the United States won't bomb other countries if they have nuclear weapons. So now Iran has every incentive to get a nuclear weapon, even when they weren't trying to make one before. Donald Trump literally created a situation in which Iran is more likely to get a nuclear weapon now.
Well, them complying with the standards is iffy in the first place. They said they had uranium enrichment facilities all over the place, and there were reports of them not allowing the atomic agencies to inspect everything, number one. Number two,
That's not true.
Iran was.
That's not true.
Iran, the JCPOA was only stopping them from getting a nuclear weapon for 10 years, and it gave them permanent sanction relief. They was using billions of dollars to fund their ballistic missile programs and to fund terror proxies throughout the Middle East and Europe and America. It's what's the point of having? All right, you don't have any nukes, but they have all these freaking missiles and terror proxies. That's just as bad.
Yeah, and they still have all those terror proxies, and Donald Trump just released sanctions on them that fucking allowed them to get $14 billion. And then because of his lack of being able to finish this war, allowed them to go through the strait where they're literally boats are paying them $1 million for every ship that goes through. And that will continue as soon as they stop the blockade on this, because that's fucking ridiculous. Like literally Donald Trump is giving them, literally Donald Trump is giving them just as much money as they were making before in order to do all of those things, all right? It's not illegal for them to have ballistic missiles, right? It's not. It's just not. And I don't really give a shit if they have them. I don't want them to have a nuclear weapon. That's what's more important to me. And if you think that Iran is going to just give up now and go, well, now that you bombed all our countries after freaking negotiations, we're just going to give you everything that you want, then you're wrong. That's crazy.
Well, they are. Well, we have a blockade against them. So right now, we got their ships. We're stopping their ships from leaving. You have little factions in Iran right now who've been killing certain IRGC security forces. When Trump initiated the strikes in Iran, the Iranian people in there were cheering that their military bases were hit. People were cheering that Khomeini was killed and a lot of the higher up leaders. The fact that I don't know
where.
What,
sir? First of all, that's horseshit. Okay,
there's
sir.
people. Why do you think Iran cut the internet?
The internet was already cut.
No, I'm saying before when they first struck, there were Starlinks that were helping people get videos out, and those were being you can watch videos on it of Iranian people.
No, sir. What you can watch videos of is Iranians not in Iran celebrating. That's what you can celebrate. But I have no doubt, sir. I have no doubt that people were celebrating. The whole place is crooked. What is the best scenario that the United States gets out of this war? What is the best case scenario?
What's the best case scenario that the United States get out of this?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if Iran opens back up the strait, we can get oil flowing back through there again.
Okay, so they open up the strait. There's one. What's number two?
Get some sort of regime change.
Get some sort of regime change. Okay, two. All right. No, what else?
And destroying their ballistic missile program so they're not a threat to the Middle Eastern countries. My main thing is
no. You're not moving on. You're not moving on. Stop.
Okay.
They don't get a nuclear weapon. They destroy their missile production and they open up the strait. Those are the three best things that we can get out of this war. That's what we need to get out of the war. Is that right?
Yeah, well, we can start with that. Sure.
Okay, cool. So the best case scenario that we get out of this war is that everything is exactly how it was before we started this war, minus the regime change, which they're not going to get. It's just not going to happen, right? Actually, the White House was literally briefed prior to the attack, and we already have reports of that. They were already briefed that there was zero chance that a regime change was going to happen without boots on the ground in Iran. So they're not going to get a regime change. So what we'll get is the regime that we put into power, by the way, just a reminder of that. So we'll get a regime change for the regime that we put in power. We'll also get the strait that was already open, a nuclear, they won't be building a nuclear weapon, which they weren't trying to do. And they won't have ballistic missiles, which they didn't even have one that could reach anything anyway. And they weren't using it against anybody. Cool. Well, so glad that we're wasting. I'm so glad that we're wasting $1 billion a day. Okay. With a possible 200 billion to go to get absolutely fucking nothing that we didn't have before this war started.
Well, first of all, we didn't put the regime in power. It was a bunch of radical Islamists and socialists that put the regime in power.
And
they're the ones who wanted They're the ones who wanted the Ayatollah in power. We didn't want that dude in power. That dude was a freaking radical Islamic lunatic.
Who funded them?
Who funded who?
The radical Islamists.
I don't know.
The CIA. Yeah.
So the CIA funded the radical Islamists to get the Ayatollah.
Yeah. Do you not understand why you think that they just chant death to America because of what? Because of nothing? The reason they do that is because
they're radical Muslims.
No, sir, it's because they had a democratic government, right? And the United States went in and freaking overthrew that government for oil. And literally put in place the Shah, like who was their like monarch, who literally freaking stopped like all rebellion, freaking like killed civilians, all that stuff. The United States put him in power so that the United States could and the UK could literally steal their oil. We've overturned their government. We've rigged their elections. We've armed people in their fucking government since the fucking 50s. Okay, we're the one that put the Islamists in power.
When Britain first went into Iran to get oil, what was the deal that they had with the Iranian government?
What do you mean?
When Iran went into, because Britain brung oil companies with how they get Iran's oil. They brought oil companies in to extract Iran's oil, right? What was the agreement that they had with the Iranian government at the time in the 50s?
All right, why don't you just answer your own question? Because whatever question you're asking in English doesn't make any sense. So maybe you're just better to answer your own question. And that way we can get on with the point.
No, what I'm trying to ask is, I want to know what the agreement was that the British made with the Iranians, because I heard.
I don't know what you're talking about. So just say whatever you're trying to say.
I'm asking you a question.
Oh my God, I don't understand your question. So just say what you're trying to say.
Well, what don't you understand about the question?
Sir, okay. You can keep asking the same question over and over. If I don't understand the fucking question that you're asking, I can't answer it. So if you're trying to make a point, just make the point so we can move on.
No, what don't you understand about the question, God, so I can clear it up?
Why is the question so fucking important to your point?
Because you said that we went in there because we overthrew the previous guy, which his name was what's his name, Mudafi or some junk like that. That we overthrew him and put in the Shah, right? Because they wanted to nationalize their oil. Is that the reason why?
Yep.
All right. So the British oil companies was trying to stop the government from taking their oil companies from them and nationalizing it.
You mean Iran's government was trying to stop other countries from stealing their oil? That's what you mean by that?
That's what I'm saying. They wasn't stealing it. They had an agreement with the government, right?
They had an agreement where they pretty much stole the oil for almost nothing. That's why they elected somebody in there democratically so that Iran could actually keep their own oil, so that they could actually make money of it instead of the country going into poverty and letting it be stolen by the British and the US for pennies on the fucking dollar to what it was worth. And so then the United States government and the British, again, because big oil controls everything, went in there and took out their democratically elected leader and installed their monarch.
Okay, and then the monarch was overthrown by the Ayatollah, because you said that the CIA funded the radical Islamists Why would the CIA?
Well, first of all, the Shah was a radical Islamist.
Yeah,
the Shah was a radical. The monarch was a radical Islamist.
No, the Shah is secular. He's not a Muslim.
Pretty sure we're on that one. But anyways, that led to the Iranian revolution in 1979, which then the Ayatollah came in. Yep, and we funded them too. Because it was between them and the communists, and then we didn't want the communists to come into place because the communists would have been closer to Russia, and we didn't want Iran getting closer to Russia. And so why are we doing the whole history lesson here again, by the way? Sorry.
Because what I was watching a documentary on the 1979 revolution, and basically the communists wanted to join with the Islamists because they were trying to push back against U.S. imperialism. But my thing is, why would the CIA fund the Ayatollahs if the Ayatollahs hate U.S. imperialism too? It makes no sense.
Because both the communists and the Islamists both hate United States imperialism, but the communists were more likely to freaking be on the side of Russia.
Yeah, but so we fund the Ayatollahs to push back against Russia?
No, to just avoid Russian collusion. Remember, this was height of Cold War.
Oh, so it was more like an enemy of my enemy is my friend type jump.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, I mean, if Russia was the bigger threat, then I guess the CIA kind of had no choice.
Yeah, no, they did have plenty of choices. We always have choices. The entire point that I'm trying to make here, sir, is that you're talking about freaking radical Islamists, right? As if we weren't the fault, that reason why that shit fucking happened to begin with. Okay, that's the reason why they chant death to America. That's why they do all of these things. We always have a choice. We chose to get involved in the country. We chose to put this regime in place, right? And now again, right, we are choosing who the leader of Iran is. Right? Again, we're trying to tell them who their leader is, right? As if it worked so well the last time, right? And it didn't, all right? We're not going to get a regime change in there. It's not going to happen, right? Yes, the leader is dead. He was 86 years old. We've now spent hundreds of billions of dollars getting rid of something that time would have taken care of like any fucking minute. His son's now in charge. Okay, who's an even more radical, more hardline person. And guess what? If we kill that dude, then just another one. If he is, then guess what? Another one's going to come. Another more hardline, worse dude is going to come in next. It doesn't matter. Okay. And obviously right now, we're trying to go into negotiations, and nowhere in that freaking, and nowhere in those negotiations are we talking about the freaking son leaving. Nowhere in those negotiations are we even talking about freaking Khamenei's son. Are we even talking about him leaving? That's not even part of the negotiations that they've talked about.
Well, the United States can't overthrow the regime without boots on the ground. That's true. They're not going to be able to do that. The only way you can have regime changes, the Iranian people will have to be like, I guess, armed to the teeth and take the government by force. The
Iranian people that we're literally bombing?
No, not well, we're bombing military infrastructure.
And civilian infrastructure. Donald Trump literally threatened genocide against the Iranian people.
So, I mean, he contradicted himself in the same statement by saying, God bless the Iranian people.
He actually said, praise be to Allah.
So, no, I'm saying in the statement that you talk about, where he said he's going to wipe out an entire civilization, he said in that same statement, God bless the Iranian people. I don't think he's talking about the Iranian people. I'm thinking he's talking about the IRGC itself, which I don't.
He said we're going to wipe out an entire civilization. The IRGC is not a civilization.
I know it's not a civilization, but I'm saying he's using more extreme rhetoric to try.
That's more like when he said God bless the American people. It's kind of like in the old Western days, like before they'd hang someone, when someone said, and may God have mercy on their soul, before they pulled the handle.
Okay. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, but do you think he's going to wipe out an entire civilization?
I think he would.
I mean, he can't do that without nuclear weapons. You think he's going to launch a nuke over there?
You think Israel hasn't been trying to wipe out the entire Palestinians without a nuclear weapon?
Well, no. The Palestinians the Palestinians are still alive.
Yep. Not with Israel's help.
In fact, Israel dropped 200.
Sir, I'm not moving over to Israel. What I'm saying is if he took out all of their infrastructure, which is a war crime, let's also be clear that just the threat is also a war crime. So he's already committed a war crime, not to mention things like bombing schools and all that sort of stuff. So regardless of any of that, he's literally out there fucking committing war crimes. And you're like, do you think he'd wipe out a freaking civilization? I think he would fucking try. Well, this is why you don't fucking put crazy people in the fucking White House. But hey, here we are anyway. He's over there posting pictures of fucking him as Jesus and shit. Okay, fucking touching Epstein's head and all this sort of stuff. The dude has lost his fucking mind. Okay? The dude has lost his entire fucking mind. Like literally, he is constitutionally fucking insane.
Why is the U.S. held to the standard of war crimes when Iran is committing war crimes, shooting missiles at our commercial vessels? That's a war crime. Shooting missiles into random cities, that's a war crime.
Yeah.
Shooting missiles into Gulf states, that's a war crime.
Sir,
But
why do people for some reason think that I like to compare the greatest nation on the planet, right, in the United States, to fucking Iran? Iran is fucking horrible. The Ayatollah is fucking horrible. They have been doing fucking crimes against humanity for a long fucking time. Literal crimes against civilization, crimes against humanity. And you're like, well, they're doing it, so we should be able to do it. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? I don't want to be fucking just as bad. I don't want to be being like, oh, cool, dude, Iran is doing it, so we should be able to do it too. I think that we should be better than committing war crimes, don't you think?
Yeah, of course.
Then why are you trying to tell me what Iran is doing? Of course Iran is doing bad shit. Yes, Iran does bad shit. They're horrible there's a horrible fucking regime. Okay? I wish that they would get wiped off the face of the planet. They're fucking horrible. All right? So when you say, oh, Iran is doing war crimes, yes, absolutely they fucking are. Absolutely. I don't know why anybody expected anything different. If you bomb a country, okay, that literally just likes doing fucking crimes against humanity and war crimes, then I guess you can't just be surprised when they start doing those things. But it doesn't mean the United States needs to stoop down to their level, right? It doesn't mean the United States should start killing their fucking civilians or taking out their fucking infrastructure, because the people those school children that were fucking hit with that tomahawk, right? Like they weren't the ones doing the war crimes. Right? If you start taking out power grids, start taking out, bridges, when you start taking out critical civilian infrastructure, you're not
that's a war. Those are war crimes.
Yeah, you're hurting the people who are not doing the problem, right? If we had the ability to just wipe the Ayatollah out and start from scratch, no problem. I got no issue with that, minus the fact that I don't think we can do it, and I think that we're spending a whole bunch of money, because here's the biggest problem, right? It's not even a matter, like truly, and it's not even a matter of just completely being like, oh, like I'm against the war. No, I just don't think the Trump administration has any ability to do this war correctly. And I think they're proving that. They have yet to show any actual objectives for anything that they're going to do, right? They have no exit plan, which is obvious right now, right? Because they're over there doing negotiations and shit and getting nowhere, right? Because they're just asking for shit that they don't believe. Donald Trump's over there. Donald Trump thinks that he was just going to be able to get out of this thing in a few weeks, as if Israel was just going to be done with the war in a few weeks. We already have reports saying that from his aides that are saying that he's already like gotten tired of the war, right, and gotten bored with it because it's distracting from the other shit he wants to do, like build a ballroom, So it's just like he has no ability to actually effectuate this war properly, because he doesn't know what he's doing, because he doesn't know how to fight a war and he doesn't know how to be diplomatic. He thought he was going to do what he did in Venezuela, or what he did in Iran last year. He thought he was going to do that, and then he was going to jump back out of it, and it's not happening, right? And so now the best case scenario that we get out of this situation, that's why I asked you what that looked like. The best scenario that we have is that when we get out of this thing, we're in the same position we were before. And the problem is that I don't think that we will be. I think it's going to be somewhere less than where we were before. I think either Iran's going to just keep fighting this thing forever, or the Trump administration is going to end up capitulating to something that we shouldn't be capitulating to, just because of the need to get out of it. Right, I think that he's gonna do something. He's gonna give them full control of the strait as long as they open it, or something like, or allow them to do it. He's gonna do something. He's gonna give them more than they had before, just for the simple fact that he wants to get out of this war. We'll see if it's true, but the best case scenario is that we're exactly where we were before.
I think if Trump, what did they offer? They offered. I believe that they offer some sanction relief if they just stop funding the terror proxies. Like, hey, we'll release some secondary sanctions if you don't use it to fund proxies. And Iran rejected it. They didn't want to do it. And I think that's pretty reasonable. I mean, like, if they said, hey, we'll relief. You know, you don't. I think right now they propose a no nuclear enrichment for 20 years or something like that. That was the latest thing. And
So we get no
Iran
nuclear.
even
Hold on. So just be clear, you're saying that what they offered was no freaking nuclear enrichment in exchange for sanctions. So literally the JCPOA, literally Obama's nuclear deal that Donald Trump pulled us out of. The best case scenario is that we return to before Donald Trump was president.
Well, it's not just that. It's also they want them to inspect everything. Like
They
everything.
were. That was happening
because
under Obama's deal. Yep. They were inspecting every single facility. It was freaking the IAEA that was doing it. So it was UN inspectors, and they never passed 2.7% enriched uranium. That was happening. That didn't stop happening until Donald Trump pulled us out of the JCPOA, and after the United States pulled out, the United Nations had no, and the other countries that were in the JCPOA had no ability to actually allow them to do that, and they stopped allowing people in. While the United States was in there, they were inspecting all facilities, and they were all compliant. So literally, what you're saying is the best thing we get out of this is that Donald Trump never existed as president. That's the best place that we can be. Because I can agree with that.
No, I would say this. Look, if we do a redo of the JCPOA, I would just say, okay, no, all right, no, you can get sanction relief, but the previous JCPOA didn't include not funding proxies. If they want to have ballistic missiles, they can keep the ballistic missiles under, like 2,000 kilometers. Or defensive ballistic missiles, not offensive ballistic missiles. We give them sanction relief, we'll repair the damages, just don't fund the proxies and keep your nuclear enrichment low. And that's it. That sounds reasonable.
No, that is not what they said. They said not any enrichment of uranium, not keep it low, zero. They were allowed to have zero, okay? And Iran's never going to agree to not be able to hit back at Israel if Israel decides to attack them again. They're never going to agree to that. Why would any country agree, okay, to not be able to defend themselves and retaliate against a country in the region who knowingly has attacked them multiple times over the last decade? Why would they agree to that?
What do you mean attack them? It's because of Iran. Iran is the attacker.
No, just random times throughout the year, throughout the last decade, Israel has just bombed inside of Iran, bombed a person, took a person out, done an attack, whatever. Multiple times over the last decade, actually longer than that, Israel is just bombed inside of Iran. And you think that Iran is just going to be like, oh, well, we agree that we're just going to let Israel bomb inside our country, and we're just never going to be able to retaliate? Why would they ever do that, sir? Why would they ever do that?
Well, I would say this: if you, well, I don't know all the individual, because you don't got time to get into all of it. So I don't know the individual instances where they were looking for specific commanders or whatever to take out or whatever. But Iran, like, what is Israel supposed to do about these proxies around them that's being funded by Iran? What are they supposed to do?
I don't know. Bomb more civilians. That seems to be what their go-to is.
Well, like Hezbollah, for example, in South Lebanon, Hezbollah is firing thousands of rockets. Like, how do you deal?
And
with
how do you expect we stop Iran from funding them?
I'm sorry.
And how do you expect that we stop Iran from funding them?
I have no idea.
Because it's impossible. Because we have no way to check that. And what that means is that if they make a deal like that, right, then at any point in time, Israel can say, we got attacked by Hezbollah or something, and we believe Iran funded them. And since we believe Iran funded them, we're now going to attack Iran. And now you're saying that Iran does not have the ability to retaliate because we took away their entire ballistic missile program. I'm not, dude. This is not a matter of defending Iran, okay? But let's think about this logically, okay? Like, just think about it logically. All right, you're saying that we with Israel went in and bombed Iran, okay? Bombed the shit out of them, all right, unprovoked, and made a complete attack in the middle of negotiations. Okay, that's what just happened, right? And you're expecting Iran to give up their entire weapons program, their entire nuclear weapons program, to stop funding all of their fucking proxies, to just stop everything, right? Every way that they've known how to fucking how to defend themselves, every way they've known how to retaliate against Israel when attacked, all of those single ways. Why would you expect that they would agree to this?
Well, they wouldn't agree to it.
Exactly. So when they're not agreeing to these things, it makes sense, right? Like, I'm not, again, this is not agreeing with Iran, but this is just like, it doesn't make any sense. The best thing that we're going to get out of it, okay? The best thing that we're going to get out of it is a release of sanctions, okay? In order to open the strait and limited enrichment. That's the best thing that we're going to get out of this, okay? And that is exactly how we were before Donald Trump took office. All right, it's gonna be limited enrichment for the use of of power and all that sort of stuff. An open strait, right? Like and that's it. We're gonna get exactly what we were at before. And that just doesn't seem like it's worth 13 American soldiers' lives and freaking $100 billion and counting, right? Like I don't know if it's 100 billion yet, but I'm sure it's close, right? Like it just doesn't seem worth all of that money for getting fuck all, dude. Like it just doesn't.
All right. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well. Okay. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Well, you have a good one. All right.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. Yeah, make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We are going to keep this thing going. If you'd like to support the live, I do have super chats, super stickers. Thank you guys for everyone who helped me clear out the hat and mustaches earlier. Big T was a big part of that. I really appreciate that. And I saw Electric in there, retracted. Thank you so much. And Big T with the train. We threw up a little train goal over here. I didn't have time to look at my gift gallery to see what we actually had in here. I know it's a bunch of crazy stuff, so maybe I'll throw up one for that. But if you'd like to help me support clearing this one, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're gonna move on to the next caller. If you'd like support, I do have super chats, super stickers, pay links in the bio also, all at Polypolitics, just like my name. Tad, thank you so much for the $5. He's returning before Trump. That would be great. The draft dodger doesn't understand how to run a war. Shocked. Yeah. Bone Spurs isn't that great at running a war. I know, it's nuts. All right, never would have believed. Thank you so much for that $5 super chat. Again, y'all, if you guys like support, I do have super chats and super stickers, and I like to read them. So thank you so much. Lorenzo, also thank you for the jewels. Jess Lil, thank you so much. Concrete, thank you so much. Bill Simmons, thank you so much also. I appreciate that. All right, let's open up the phone lines, keep this thing going. Really appreciate you guys. Oh, my hair's soft. I just washed it today. Big T, thank you again for the second train. Oh my God, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. And Mike, thank you so much too. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Hello, how are you?
Doing well.
Awesome. How old are you?
I'm 50.
Thank you, Mike. Awesome. You said you're 50, sir?
Hello? Yeah.
Oh, now it just got really bad. Hello?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
I sure do.
Awesome. Why is that?
Well, it's a lot of economic growth in my city based upon the things that he's doing. Like a lot of there's a refinery in my city where just a lot of giant economic growth. But I have a question for you, and I'm hoping you can help me with it. And I want to have a civil conversation without this going sour. Can I ask you something? You might be able to help me with it.
Probably not. What's up?
Well, kind of one of the same groups of you guys getting on these channels and doing this thing, whatever niche you guys are doing. But somebody in there told me that there's some kind of tax sheet that an illegal migrant can get in order to get a job. I've never heard of this before.
You talking about an I-10?
Sorry about that. Give me a sec. I'm sorry?
You talking about an I-10?
Man, let me go outside. I'm sorry, man. Dogs are barking. Sorry, say that again?
Are you talking about an I-10?
No, not an I-10.
No, not an I-10. I'm not talking about the road, sir.
Say that again?
I'm not talking about the road.
I'm talking about somebody was telling me that an illegal immigrant can go to the Social Security Administration office and get some kind of tax paperwork where they can get a job.
Yes, you can get an I-10.
An I-10. Can you elaborate on that?
It's not I-10. It's I-10. ITIN. Individual tax identification number.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm in a position where I employ people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if an illegal migrant, let's say I'm filling out an I-9. I don't know if you could bring up an I-9 on your computer and look at it. I've never seen a position to fill out an I-9 where it says, do you have an I-10?
Yeah, it just goes where the social security number is. That's all. Yeah.
But if they're illegal, how would they have a social security number?
So it's not all of them, right?
Yeah.
So right here on the American Council for Immigration, American Immigration Council, people who do not have a lawful status in the United States may obtain an I-10. Other people who are lawfully present in the United States and must pay taxes, but who may not be eligible for social security number also may obtain an I-10, including a foreign national legally reside in the United States who, based on a number of days in the country, is filing U.S. tax return. A foreign national who is a student, professor, or researcher in the United States and is filing a U.S. tax return but is not qualified to receive a social security number. A dependent or spouse of a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident, a dependent or spouse of a foreign national.
I mean, understood.
An I-10 does not provide an individual with legal immigration status. It cannot be used to prove legal presence in the United States. An I-10 does not provide work authorization and cannot be used to prove work authorization on a Form 9. This form is used by employers to identify and employ taxes. I-10 holders may pay taxes.
I-10 if they cannot get a job.
Some of them can. Yeah, it just depends.
You just read it that you can. This is not an authorization to work. So do me a favor.
Great, but if you do have an authorization to work, you can also get an I-10.
In order to work in the United States, you have to fill out an I-9. Bring up an I-9 and look at it.
Sir, I know what that means, sir. Again, it's just saying it's not in place of an I-9. Okay, but you can have an I-9 and have an I-10, right?
So where in the I-9 can an illegal immigrant fill out? What part of the I-9 can they fill out?
I don't believe they can in most states.
Exactly.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize I didn't have it up over here.
What is that I-10 good for?
For paying taxes.
Yeah. Another thing, how can you pay taxes if you can't get a job? I don't get it.
Who said they weren't getting jobs?
Maybe I'm just dumb, bro. Maybe I'm just dumb and I don't get it.
Who said they can't get jobs?
You're like how can they get a job and not be able to fill out an I-9? To work in the United States, you have to fill out an I-9.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, this is how ICE gets flagged through I-9s. They do I-9 investigations. I live in a border city. They do I-9 investigations. They do I-9 audits throughout the year. And if I-9s don't look correctly, they do an investigation.
Yeah, they can still be like 1099 and stuff though. You don't need an I-9 to be 1099.
You could be. Yes, sir, that is correct. You can fill
Well, there you go. They can be independent contractors. They can work for themselves. They can do all sorts of stuff like that.
But you still have to. I've hired 1099s, bro. I've hired 1099s before. Mm-hmm. They still have to fill out an I-9 in order to be 1099. 1099 is work status. That's all. That means that you're self-employed. And you're responsible
it's a
for
contractor thing. You don't have to do an I-9 in order to. What are you talking about? You don't have to do an I-9 in order to hire someone with a 1099. You're just hiring a freelance fucking worker. What are you talking about?
Yes, and they're responsible for themselves, right?
Yeah.
They're responsible for themselves. They still have to be registered as a 1099. They must fill out an I-9 prior.
Who's going to check it?
Any job in the United States, sir.
You're not getting hired for a job. You're being 1099'd.
Okay, let's say, for example, I work for
Let me give you an example. Maybe I'll make this easier, okay? If I go to hire a new...
Bro, I'm not here to argue with you.
I'm not here to argue with you either. I'm giving you an example because what you're saying doesn't make sense, and so I'm trying to explain it to you.
No, you are arguing and you're getting upset.
Sir, I'm not upset, sir, and if you try to tone police me on my live again, I'll hang up on you.
Wow, man. I didn't mean to insult you. My apologies.
No, just don't try to tone police my fucking live. I'll talk however I want, and you'll be quiet while I do it, okay?
I was apologizing to you, man.
All right, well, do it quicker because I'm freaking moving on my point, and you're getting in my way. Appreciate it. If I go to hire a new person that to like clean my house, right? I hire a freelance person to clean my house, all right? And then I pay that person for doing it, okay? That would be, and I do it, like say I do it for like my business. I hire someone to clean my business. They are a 1099 employee. I don't need to check their I-9. Okay, I don't need to. They're a freelance 1099 employee. That is how I'm going to give them their tax paperwork. Then they can take that tax paperwork with their I-10 and they can send it to the IRS and pay the correct amount of taxes for the work that they fucking did. I don't have to check as an individual business hiring someone to clean my stuff. I don't clean my office building or whatever. I don't have to check an I-9 and I don't have to check for legal immigration status.
So I worked in a nightclub before. I managed a nightclub. In that nightclub, there's security staff that are 1099. In order for me to pay them, right, appropriately, because they're paid out cash, there has to be checks and balances. One of those checks and balances is for them to fill out their 1099, including an I-9. Those have to be submitted to your accountant.
I don't know where you're doing that at, but
balances.
I mean, maybe you guys are just doing extra, and that's awesome. I appreciate
worked in
that.
a bowling alley. I worked in a bowling alley.
I don't need to hear your entire work
security.
history. I am not trying to hire you.
Okay. Another thing somebody said was, maybe you can help me. I appreciate your patience. Thank you. Thank you for having me on. Another thing somebody told me is that immigrants are net zero. I heard that. I just didn't understand it. What does that
Technically,
mean,
they're net positives, but what?
Sorry?
Technically, they're net positives.
What does net positive mean?
It means that they provide more for the United States as far as the economy and for taxes than they take.
I don't understand that. Can you elaborate? How does somebody who can't get a job is net positive?
Yeah, because they still pay taxes, and again, they can get jobs, all right? Because immigrants as a whole, right, including undocumented,
and they can't pay taxes, I don't get it.
Yeah. So it depends on which state you're in. A lot of states actually do allow undocumented immigrants with I-10s to be able to get jobs and all that sort of stuff. It just depends on the state laws.
Okay. All right. That makes more sense.
But anyways, in just like the last trackable year, which I believe is like 2022 or 2023, they paid like $98 billion in taxes. Yeah. They took like 30 billion.
They tracked them as illegals?
Mm-hmm. As undocumented.
How would they know that they're undocumented?
Because they have an I-10.
Okay. All righty. Appreciate your time, man. Take it easy. Have a good night.
Yeah, man. Have a good one. Yeah, just to add on top of that, they also buy things, right? They buy clothes, they buy food, they pay sales tax, they do all of those things. So, yep. All right, we're gonna move on to the next person. I appreciate it. Again, y'all, if you guys would like support, I do have super chat, super stickers, pay links in the bio, and live gift goal going on if you guys would like support. So I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Hello, how are you?
Hey.
Oh my God. Go watch Blue's Clues or something. Is Blue's Clues still on? I think that guy died, huh? Did he die? Did that guy die? The Blue's Clues guy die? No? Yes?
Hey, can you hear me?
Hello, how are you?
Hey, dude, I'm doing good, man. I saw your YouTube live about why you'd still support Trump, and I thought I'd hop on.
Awesome. How old are you?
32, live in Southern California.
And you still support Trump?
I'd say he's done most of what he's promised to do, except for obviously the big war. But, you know, you look at the MAGA movement, I think there's a lot of headway with that. I think our food has gotten definitely a lot healthier, at least it's on the way to. I feel like if you believe in sovereignty of the United States, I feel like he's helping to enforce the border. Do you believe in enforcement of the border?
Yeah, of course I believe in support of the enforcement of the border. That's why I don't support Donald Trump.
Oh, well, that's interesting. I haven't heard that stance before. Why would you like to enforce the border, but do you think that he's doing a better job than Biden? Or do you think that he's doing a worse job than Biden?
Not only is he doing a worse job than Biden, but he's also the reason that Biden wasn't able to enforce the border better. So
you're talking about that bill not getting passed in the final year of Biden's term.
Why do people say the final year as if that's not a quarter of someone's presidency?
Well, you're already saying that.
No, really. No, that was a direct question. Why do people say the final year as if that's not an entire 25% of someone's presidency? Like literally, it's like it's truly the dumbest thing. Like really, like honestly, I hear it all the time, and it's so stupid to literally. Yeah, 1 second. I'm in the middle of a sentence now. For literally people to go, okay, so Title 42, which literally had the border shut down, okay, for the first like year and a half of almost of Joe Biden's presidency, right? Because under Congress, we were under Title 42 of our immigration law, which was for like a complete border shutdown, right? So we have a year and a half of just complete year and a half of just complete border shutdown. Then we start to see how bad things are, right? Then the Biden administration tries to pass bills, all right? They go nowhere because Republicans block them. And then Republicans and a tripartisan thing ran by Republicans has to start from writing a bill from scratch that rewrites our entire immigration system, right? That is 50 years old, right? Has to rewrite the entire fucking thing from scratch and try to get it through Congress. It had already passed the House, all right? Had 98 support Senate, right? At this point, by the way, at this point where it's already been fully written, where it's already freaking passed the House, where it has 98% support in the Senate, right? At this point, now it's a year out from Joe Biden's presidency, as if all that other shit hadn't happened, right? Now it's a year out. And people are like, oh, he only had a quarter of his presidency left. 75% was gone, but he only had a quarter left. So now we don't want an amazing immigration bill? The fuck does that mean, dude?
It's kind of funny because if you were to hold this same YouTube live at 3 years into Trump's presidency, then you should be having that same comparison, right? You're 1 year into Trump's presidency and you're already thinking we should just dump Trump. But
no, we're 5 years into Donald Trump's presidency.
Into Biden's presidency, and you're giving him the grace of 3 years, but you're only giving Trump 1 year to get things
It's not
done.
the grace of 3 years. When did Title 42 expire? When did Title 42 expire?
Possible, where he says, you know what, we're going to pay for your one-way flight ticket out of here. All expenses paid. We're not going to ask any questions. Just get out. Now's your time. Now's your warning. If you're to do a president, if I were to be a
Sir,
president,
I'm sorry. I know you want to go off on your little grandstand right now. Why do you exclude an entire 25%? Why do you want to, yeah, because you're not answering the question. I just realized you're grandstanding. So I just want to make sure. We want to get back to the point. Why do we exclude an entire 25% of Biden's presidency? Look, I'm not saying Biden was perfect on the border. He's not. He could have made a lot of decisions. I'm just saying I don't understand your dumb point when it comes to being like, oh, you mean that thing where he only did it after 75% of his presidency, not 65? Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
You have to understand that the final year of your presidency is to prepare for your next term, right?
Even if it is, sir, if the final year and a half of your presidency is to fucking prepare for your next term. Why do we not want good policy? Sir, pay attention. Hello. If I'm talking and you're talking, nobody hears you. I am incredibly louder than you. Okay? Thank you. I'm trying to ask you a direct question. Why do we not want really, really good policy? Why do we not want really, really good policy just because you're 75% of the way through your term? I don't understand. Because if Donald Trump wanted to pass really, really good really good policy at 75% of the way through his fucking term, I'd be like, man, better late than never. I'm glad he finally decided to start. Right? At no time throughout the history of the United States have we ever said, oh, great policy isn't great policy because there's only 25% left of your presidency. That doesn't make any sense.
Totally agree. But that's the nature of two-party politics right now, isn't it?
No, that's just the nature of what you're making two-party politics because you're the one saying it, right? I've never in my entire life, right, all the years following politics, for any president have I ever said, oh, well, I don't want this freaking amazing policy because he only has a year left in his presidency. Like, who the fuck cares? Well, you're the one making this point as if it's somehow valid, that somehow we should ignore amazing a policy, the first real rewrite of immigration policy that was 50 years old, that is antiquated, that doesn't meet the need of our current immigration system, one that Donald Trump has not even tried to rewrite, even though he has the House, Senate, and the presidency, has not even tried to write new policy to fix our immigration system. We had a completely well-written policy to actually fix our immigration system. We had 98% support in the Senate, and for some reason people say it as if that's a bad thing because he was in his last year. That's crazy to not want good things for the United States because a president is in their last year. That's insane.
I totally agree with you. You're trying to argue with me, but I'm agreeing with you.
You're great. You're the one who said it, sir.
Politics.
You're the one that said, oh, sir, I started talking about the policy and the first words out of your mouth were, oh, you mean the one that he did in his last year? You're the one who made it about this. Don't you get, wait, you're just going to agree with me now that I that I schooled you on it? Okay, well, I guess continue.
If you want to argue rather than have a debate or a conversation, that's
sir, I'm trying. You can move on with your point if you're just conceding. I don't care.
I'm conceding it was in his last year. I'm asking and I'm clarifying. You're talking about that bill, right? And you decided to go on a grandstand for 3 minutes.
Yeah, cool. That's the biggest gaslight I've ever heard in my life, sir. But continue.
Okay. If you realize when people are running for president, while they're debating, they say, in my first day of president, in my first year of president, in my first 100 days. That's so emphasized in our political discourse right now that you can tell a person's intentions in their first month, first year, first whatever it is of their presidency. The fact that if the tone was flipped and the things were switched and nothing had been done in the first 2.5 years, oh my gosh, we're dragging on 3 years and nothing had been done. And then you're like, all right, now this is finally hitting the ground with a year left. You have to start thinking about, why would I vote somebody in who doesn't really have these intentions? They're just trying to get the correct poll numbers. So I think Trump is doing a better stance on that by doing it literally within his first year. 2 million people have already left without any issue.
Incorrect.
Now, as far as
not as far as that's a complete bold-faced lie.
Getting people out.
Hold on, that's a bold-faced lie. Yeah. So first of all, if you want to talk about someone's first 100 days, Donald Trump signed 5 bills into law in his first 100 days as presidency. That's the lowest in 70 years. That's the lowest amount that any president has done. Nope, I don't really care why. That is the lowest amount that anybody has signed in 100 years. But no, 2 million people did not self-deport. That was a claim by Kristi Noem that has been fact-checked by everybody with a brain. Okay, and it's completely inaccurate. Even the most conservative right-leaning analysis says about 120,000.
Not self-deported, just total deportations in total.
Total deportations was about 600,000.
And how many of those were to actual U.S. citizens accidental? They were incorrect deportations.
I don't know, like 140.
Exactly. So that's a 99.5% success ratio.
How many people did Joe Biden deport in 2024?
5% success rate in cardiac surgery, I would be stoked.
Yeah, I want a 0%. I want 100% success rate in not deporting American citizens. Yeah. I don't want 99.9. I want 100% of not deporting American citizens. Yeah, I don't want 99.9, sir. I don't want 99.9 because the federal government has the ability to check to see if you're an American citizen. So I don't take 99.9% success rate. What I do take as a success rate is that Donald Trump has cost the American taxpayer, I think, like about 3 times as much to deport that 600,000 people as Joe Biden did in 2024 to deport 685,000.
So if you were president, how would you do the deportations?
How would I do the deportations?
Yeah.
First of all, I would actually use ICE to actually go after criminals and people that commit violent crimes and drug dealers instead of telling them to go to Cardenas markets and 7-Elevens. Then once I did deport those people, I would actually give them due process because they were actually criminals. So I'd actually put them in front of a judge so that we could take those people and actually send them to prison, and then we can deport them because they should be paying for the crimes that they actually committed, not just going to like whatever. And then we would be deporting a lot, and they would be getting a lot of like actually really bad criminals off the street instead of ripping people out of their immigration hearings on the day that they're actually getting read in for their like legal residency and ripping them out and sending them to countries that they don't belong to or sending them to a concentration camp.
Sure. It sounds like you're really genuine and you want to do what's best for the country, and I do too. So let's just kind of have a little bit less of a heated dialogue and just talk about it.
Well, no, we can't do that, sir, because you're just lying.
How am I lying?
Because you said 2 million people were deported last year, which not only is an insanely crazy lie, but it's literally not even possible. Like, in order to even understand the immigration system at all, like any understanding of the immigration system at all, shows that that's literally not even a possible number.
How am I supposed to get a better number?
Research.
How many people have been deported?
No, I didn't say Google search real quick while you're on your phone. I said research. Do you think that research means Google searching something really quick on your phone?
Absolutely not. I work in cardiac surgery, but guess what Google and AI says? 2.5 million total removals and voluntary departures.
Okay, and I can pull up 20 different articles that say that that's wrong. That's why I said, do you think Google searching is research? You say no, then you, hold on. Just to be clear of what just happened. I just asked you if you think Google searching, all right, I'm going to, sir.
This is the Department of Homeland Security. Are you a conspiracy theorist?
Right.
Do you think the government is lying to you?
I know the government is lying to me. The government lies to me all the time.
You're a conspiracy theorist.
That's not a conspiracy theorist. You think that, sir, how old are you? You're about to get muted. How old are you?
I'm older than you.
And how old was that?
32.
32, that's not older than me. I'm much older than you, first of all. And second of all, okay, when I was raised, we were taught, like, literally the people that you don't trust in this world are literally politicians, lawyers, and used car salesmen. Those are the people who will lie to you directly to your face. And I don't know how you and I are, even close to the same age, and you for some reason think that we should start trusting politicians. Politicians lie. That's literally what they do. That is like their mantra, right? So sitting here being honestly, I'm muting you, all right, because I'm getting tired of being talked over. I'm getting tired of being talked over. So I'm just going to mute you, okay? So literally, I don't know why we would start trusting politicians now. But even if we were to trust politicians at all, okay, even a little bit of trusting politicians, Donald Trump said 30,000 confirmed lies or misleading statements in his first term alone, not even counting this term. That's an average of 20 lies or misleading statements a day. Okay, and that has actually been fact checked by multiple different agencies across multiple different countries and multiple different researchers, okay, who show that Donald Trump lied 30,000 times just in his first term. So if there's any politician that I'm not going to fucking trust, it's Donald Trump. But when we are going to listen to politicians, the correct next thing to do is to look up and see whether those numbers are correct. And then it's also a really good idea, which is what I like to do. It's like my favorite thing to do. Is what we do then is we use our brains, okay, to figure out how a broken immigration system that doesn't even have the ability to process the amount of freaking immigrants that we already have, all right, and doesn't have the ability to deport the amount of undocumented immigrants that we have, somehow now has the ability to deport and confirm over 2 million deportations, which isn't even fucking possible, okay? It's literally not even possible, all right?
It's not. You're right.
So why are you repeating it?
What? I agree with you on a lot of that. It's just that normally liberals are the non-conspiracy theorists. So
that's not conspiracy theory.
You're talking to somebody who is not a conspiracy theorist, and I agree with you that of course the government's lying. That's why he fires people so quickly so that he can help create a narrative that he wants. But you should also have some nuance to know that Trump he's got two sides of his mouth. You don't just take exactly what he says word for word and think that he's being truthful. That's part of his game plan. He tries to keep people guessing on what he's going to do next. You should know that with Trump by now, dude. He's been around for 12 years.
Yeah. A conspiracy theorist, I was wondering because you keep using conspiracy theorists like completely incorrectly. So I figured I would I would just look at the actual definition of it because I was curious. It said a conspiracy theorist is an individual who believes, promotes, or creates explanations for significant events based off of secret, malevolent plots by powerful actors rather than mainstream evidence. That's not what I'm doing at all. All of the mainstream evidence and all of the proper evidence and all of the proper researching all just shows that it's a lie. That's not being a conspiracy theorist at all.
Would you enlighten me to where you got your 600K number from then?
ICE numbers.
ICE numbers?
Yep. Also backed by American Council for Immigration Studies, Center for Immigration Studies, Center for Migration Studies, Pew Research Center. Some estimates put it as high as 700, 800,000, and I'm cool with those also. Not really a problem.
Okay. Would you say that first 2 years is better than Joe Biden's first 2 years?
Better than Joe Biden's first 2 years when we had Title 42 and we were in the middle of a pandemic? Yes. Different situation.
I'd say he definitely did better his first 2 years.
Yeah, that'd be like saying that. Do you think someone swims better in water or on concrete? Yeah, in water. You're not really making a good example of a good comparison. We were under Title 42. The border was completely shut down. Immigration wasn't the problem. We didn't have as many people in here. People weren't rushing to the border. Like we didn't have any of these issues. Not to mention that we were completely fucking like inundated with trying to get ourselves economically out of a fucking pandemic. Not worried about immigration.
Yeah, I think I'd be off the Trump train if the war ends in greater than a month. I think that he's going to lose a lot of support in the next month if he doesn't get out ASAP. Because a lot of people were under the impression it was going to be a troopless war. It was just going to be to guarantee them down. However, it's tough to know what you would do as a president if you had a nation saying they were going to destroy yours. They had 400 kilograms of 83% purified uranium. What are you doing then? You know, you're only a couple weeks out, especially if they have weapon systems to be able to.
I don't believe they had 83% uranium. I believe they had 60% uranium.
What's up?
I don't believe they had 83% uranium. I believe they had 60% uranium. Yeah.
The 60% is the threshold to where it gets easier and easier. Like if you can get to 60% enrichment, it's way easy to.
But that doesn't mean that it's 83. Just because 60 makes it easier doesn't make 60 83.
I'm agreeing with you that what if it was 70? What if it was 77? The number that I've seen is.
What if it was 200? What if the flying spaghetti monster came around and sprinkled Parmesan cheese all over the masses? What if this? What if that? What if? I mean, what if whatever, dude? What if Donald Trump went over there and became the president of Venezuela like he talks about because he can learn Spanish so quick and is great at language? What if, sir? It's not what if. The number was 60.
It's not that big. The difference is weeks, dude. Whether it's 60 or 83%, the difference is weeks in nuclear war.
Sir, when Donald Trump first came in office in his first term, what was the highest level of enrichment of uranium in Iran?
Dude, that's a great question. Do you have the number for that?
I do have the number for that.
Let's hear it. What is it?
Yeah, it was 2.7%.
2.7% was the enrichment for uranium when Trump came in office?
Yep.
If that number is accurate, then that's mind-bending. Either they would have come up with some great technology or the 83 is completely bogus. So I'm going to have to look at that number. But I'm glad that you looked that up. That's pretty cool. Someone
is telling me 3%. I'm pretty sure I'm right and it was 2.7%. But if someone corrects me and it was actually 3%, I apologize for being incorrect. We can do that. But I'm pretty sure I'm right. But do you know why it got from freaking 3% or 2.7%, which I believe it is, up to 60%?
Sorry, was that a question to me?
Yeah. Do you know how we got from it being at 3% or 2.7%, whatever number it is? We'll give it 3% just for a high end number. You know how it got from 3% all the way up to 60%?
I'm going to guess you're going to say propaganda, but maybe you know something that I don't.
Donald Trump pulled us out of the JCPOA. That was literally it. Donald Trump pulled us out of the deal that was keeping their enrichment low. And as soon as Donald Trump pulled us out of that deal, then they started enriching to higher levels. Okay. So literally the entire thing where you're talking about enriched uranium and Iran having it is 100% and unequivocally Donald Trump's fucking fault. In fact, under the Obama administration, they got them to literally get rid of all of their enriched uranium. They literally gave it up. All of their higher enriched uranium, they just handed it over, right? They only kept the 2.7% for energy use. That was it. Never went over. We had inspectors from the IEA. Why do I always feel like I say that wrong? IEA. Why do I always mess that up?
I just want to make sure
Anyways,
I'm understanding what you're saying.
anyways, we had all the people coming in there and inspecting it, making sure it was correct. There was never a freaking violation. We were checking all of their facilities. We were doing all of those things. And then Donald Trump came in and screwed up the whole fucking thing. So what would I do as president if it was different? It's easy, sir. I would have just kept in the deal that was keeping them literally at a lower level to begin with.
Is that the acronym that you use? Is that the same as the Iran deal that everybody else typically discusses it as?
The JCPOA? Yes.
Yeah. Is that the Iran deal?
Iran
So
nuclear deal?
maybe
Yes,
you
it's sometimes called the Iran nuclear deal.
So my understanding of the Iran deal was that it was like, hey, 15 years, you guys are not going to get you're not going to work on your nuclear stuff. You promise you're not going to create a nuclear weapon in the next 15 years. We give them a shit ton of money to do that. And then they're like, you know what, fine, we'll take all the money and we won't create a bomb for the next 15 years. That's my understanding of the nuclear Iran deal. That's how I feel like most conservatives understand that deal.
Yeah, and that's a pretty elementary understanding of it. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's a pretty elementary understanding, and because it's so elementary, it's not very accurate. I mean, there's all the points in there that are there, but they're all just said in such a way that it doesn't sound right. Yeah, we released sanctions on Iran, right? We allowed them to ship out oil and do other trade deals, which helped them to enrich their country, to make them more wealthy and make them more tied to the West. And in exchange for that, we were able to go in and make sure that they didn't have nuclear weapons. Yeah, so it wasn't that we gave them money. We just released sanctions. A lot of people talk about the $1.7 billion, but that was actually like money that Iran had been fighting for in court. And it was actually their money from like the Carter administration or something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was like the Carter administration, and that the Carter administration had held up some money from a trade deal that happened right before the Iranian Revolution, and then we held all the money, and then the courts finally released the money, right? And it was like, the JCPOA, I'm sure had a lot to do with it, but released some of that money back to them. Right. And, due to the deal. But sir, I'm totally okay. Like, I don't know why that's a big deal. Like, I don't know why people say that as a problem. Like, Donald Trump just released fucking a whole bunch of sanctions on Iran just to take their oil. Right. Like just to lower oil prices. He literally released the sanctions for oil worth like $14 billion just like a couple weeks ago. That goes directly into the pockets of Iran's pocket to be able to do things. Like, honestly, this is how it's worked for like multiple countries in the Middle East. Like, we've done multiple things like this before. It's pretty simple. When you bring countries in, right, and tie them financially to the West, all right, they tend to freaking not want to attack you, right? Like, I'm pretty sure if China wasn't so like economically tied to us right now, I'm pretty sure we'd be at war with them right now, right? But we're economically tied. It's a great start. Was the JCPOA perfect? No. Could it have used some work? Yes. Could we have renegotiated an even better deal like down the road? I think so. Okay. I think all of those things can be true, right? I think it was a great deal. I think it was a very good deal. It did its purpose, but also we could do more too, right? Like, those are both true. But that's why we needed Mr. Art of the Deal to go in and make a deal. But he didn't make a deal. He pulled us out of Obama's deal without a plan to make a new deal. Right. And then got freaking manipulated by Bibi Netanyahu to go in and bomb them last year, to hit their nuclear facilities while we were in negotiations to try to find another deal. Right. And then even after we bombed them, right, they were still coming to the table for negotiations. And then we bombed them again. So now we've created a situation where Iran is going to say, look, the only way we can make sure that Iran's not bombing us, the United States isn't bombing us, that we don't get attacked in the future, is to get a nuclear weapon. Because it worked for North Korea, right? We hate North Korea. They do all sorts of crazy shit. They go against our interests. They threaten to shoot missiles at us, and we don't do shit to them because they have nuclear weapons, right? And so Iran's looking at that and going, fuck, we need a nuclear weapon. If we don't want this to happen again in the future, now we need it. So we literally went from having a deal to stop them getting nuclear weapons to now them seeing it as their only choice to get a nuclear weapon. How is that helpful?
I mean, it's a good question. I think that there's a difference between Iran wanting a nuclear weapon versus Morocco wanting a nuclear weapon, where both are super heavily Muslim and they both want to end anybody that's not Muslim because of Iran's population, the amount of money that they have. And that's why they do want to be able to create a prevention system to where they don't allow a big country like that to have any possibility of going off the rails and yelling Allahu Akbar on whatever country they want. I do think that the U.S. is a little bit persuaded by Bibi, but I do think that Trump ending that war with Gaza and Palestine within the first year of his presidency, even Hillary Clinton said, if he can do that, man, then give him the freaking Nobel Peace Prize. So there's a lot of positives that, you know, can be overlooked in a presidency when gas prices are freaking, I'm driving by, it's like $6 a gallon. But there's some positives, and just like you're talking about, it's hard to know what to do with foreign policy when you're trying to swim in concrete and somebody has some percentage of enriched uranium, and now you're trying to figure out what to do. If the reason that they have enriched uranium is because of him, that's something that I'll look into, and I appreciate you bringing that up. I don't want to manipulate your time on your YouTube live, but I appreciate the conversation today.
1 second, real quick before you go to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me just pull up this article real quick where it shows that literally in the Gaza Strip, there are reports of nearly daily airstrikes and artillery attacks that happen almost every single day, leading to over 700 Palestinian deaths since the conflict began. So that's Donald Trump's amazing ceasefire in Iran, by the way, or in Palestine.
You're saying there's still rockets getting fired at Gaza right now?
Almost daily.
That's weird. I haven't seen any news about that.
Yep.
All right.
I was trying to pull up a really good article on it, but I can't find the really good article. But yeah, it's happening. It's happening consistently. I like to pull up articles with, you know, big, flashy letters, but that's okay. But yeah, multiple reports of almost daily attacks, well into 2026. Here's Council for Foreign Relations. That'll be a good one. Council for Foreign Relations is reporting on it right here. Yeah. So, and they're talking about the buildup of the war. Anyways, so that's so much for Donald Trump's peace deal that they said was created. So,
well, a multi-millennial war, that's a brutal one to be even try to be judged by. I think any president is just, man, they got their hands full with anything between the Middle East.
Yeah, that's why we should elect. That's why we should elect competent people to deal with these situations, and not people like Donald Trump.
Can I ask you one last question? Did you vote for Kamala, or would you have preferred for somebody else to be the president this term?
I'm not going to make a conjecture on who possibly could have been running, right? Biden left too late and screwed everything up, and Kamala did the best she could in 107 days. I think her agenda was solid. I think that she ran a great campaign. I think that her, 77 plus million votes, right? Like barely like squeaking out under Donald Trump by like a percentage or just over, showed how good her actual policy was. And that's pretty damn good for the first, black woman to run as the major party ticket for in the history of the United States, right? So yes, I supported Kamala Harris. I think she would have been at the floor a very average president.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for your time.
All right. Well, you have a good one. Yeah. All right, y'all. Who the heck is rating me? Somebody's rating me. Of Ari. What is OF Nikki raid 2 of Ari? Well, thank you guys. Whoever's rating me right now, whatever you guys are saying, I don't know what it means, but thank you so much. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. We're gonna keep this thing going. Move on to the next card. If you'd like support, I do have super chats, super stickers. Pay links in the bio, and I got the little gift up of the cactus shuffle. So if you guys like support, I really appreciate that. What does Brett want? I'm gonna say hi to Brett real quick. I'll say hi to Brett real quick. What's up, Brett?
No, we're rating you. So
okay.
Of Nikki is rating of Ari.
Of Nikki is rating of Ari. Okay.
Yes, because we're the worst parts and they're the better.
That does actually check. Yeah. Might as well just take our names completely away from it.
You know what? I actually would feel more special.
Yeah.
But no, man. Yeah, I just we were coming in rating you, and I wanted to make sure you got it. But
thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that, Brett. You have a good one. Thanks for the raid, man. All
Much
right,
love.
W's in the chat for of Nikki Raiders, aka Brett Cross Raiders. Okay, really appreciate that. W's in the chat for them. Yeah, I was like I was trying to read it. I felt like I was having an aneurysm trying to read whatever was going on. I was very, very confused. All right, y'all. If you guys haven't already sent that heart me, make sure you guys do that. We're almost to 150. We're gonna try to get that thing up to 200 every day. So if you guys haven't already done that, please do that. So if you see that little thing up there and it says join, or you see a little gray heart by my name, fix yourself. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And we're going to go to the next call. Again, y'all, thank you so much. Oh, Santiago, thank you so much for the super sticker for $5. I really appreciate that. And AWT says, thank you so much for this guy needs Google and a CPA. Is that for me or for him? Because I have both of those things. I have both Google and a CPA. So, which is pretty fun. It's pretty awesome. All right. Hello, how are you?
Good. How about yourself, man?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
I'm 21.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
You know, man, I'm going to be honest with this new presidency. No, not entirely, but the reason why I called was because I had a question about if you agree with the idea of just entirely getting rid of Democrats and Republicans and throwing in a third-party president, just completely new ideologies, not Republican or Democrat.
I'm sorry. Was there a question in there? I'm so sorry. Was there a question I missed in there?
Yeah, sorry. I may have just rambled on a little bit too much. But would you agree with the idea of just throwing in a completely non-party president, essentially just like a third-party president, not Democrat?
Yeah, I think we need to. Well, personally, if I had the choice, we would erase the entire political system and not have. I think we need to go to a parliamentary system with and just go to get rid of this whole process that we have, and then have 5 parties.
I think honestly, with the way that we've been running our country recently, that would be beneficial. And based off of just listening to you, you seem pretty intelligent. You seem pretty knowledgeable. In that last call, there was maybe a couple things that I disagreed with, but I mean, we're bound to have some disagreements, you know?
Yeah.
But,
all right, man. Well, I'm going to bring up somebody else because it doesn't sound like we're going to have much of a conversation here. I don't know. I think we need to talk about the destruction of the United States governmental system, since I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
Well, it wasn't more so that. It was more so just pretty much with how, for example, you were talking about how Trump had deported over 600,000 people, and that was an issue. But
I didn't say it was an issue.
You compare that to Joe Biden's presidency, when the first thing he did was cease the build of the wall, and we had over 10 million encounters and a 300,000 increase of border encounters and illegal immigrants coming in. And now, ever since he left presidency and we have Trump, we now have over half of a century worth of pretty much regain of population.
Sir, we literally had encounter numbers under the average of Trump's first presidency by the time Biden left office.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that part.
By the time Biden left office, we had numbers of encounters monthly under the average of Donald Trump's first presidency.
Could you pull that up on your?
Yes, I could, but I again, this doesn't really sound like much of a conversation. But I'll move on to somebody else, and I'll pull that up so you can see it. Okay.
That's okay.
All right, sounds good. All right, we're gonna move on to the next caller. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, I can pull that up. That's easy stuff. We're going to move on to the next caller. Suvlaki, thank you so much for the sparkles. I appreciate that.
Insane.
And Mel, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I really appreciate that. Said, Polly, I'm waiting for the conspiracy theory call-in live. I think it would be fire. I want to do that. Unfortunately, some of these platforms are really, really weird if you start getting into those sorts of things, and they don't like it. So I do have to watch it. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Hello, how are you?
Thank you.
Hello, how are you? Hello. All right, we're gonna move on to the next caller. I don't know. I couldn't hear that person. Hello, how are you?
Hello.
Hi, how old are you?
I'm 20.
I do not believe you.
Nigga.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Anyways. I do not fucking believe you. In the slightest. Not even a little bit. I can pull up the numbers under Joe Biden. I can't. It won't let me pull the numbers of people. It won't let me pull the numbers of people under. Let me see if I can pull the full stats, because I should be able to pull previous year statistics. There we go. So let's pull 2017. Sorry, while I'm waiting on another caller, I told him I'd pull up the full stats, but I got to pull up like super big numbers. Nope, this is Obama's presidency. Shoot. If you support Trump, you can call in or join the guest request box. Sorry, I'm trying to pull actually. Wait, why is it not? Pull 2018 numbers. Yeah, sorry, it's making me pull up like charts of like 2018, 2019. Also, it looks like a lot of these numbers have been adjusted, which is actually kind of crazy, because these weren't the numbers that were here before. I think ICE is like fucking with the numbers on here, dude. Because if we're looking at the numbers right here, so this is 2018 numbers, right? Where it's showing like 50,000 a month. All right here, which is what I remember the average being for 2024 was like 50,000 a month. And now the numbers are showing like 100,000 a month, and they didn't show that before. Like I remember specifically them showing like 50,000 a month going through 20,000 going through 2024. That's really weird, because I specifically remember it. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Awesome. How old are you?
I'm 15.
All right, man, you got to go. Yeah, it's really, because I've looked this up before. Right? I've looked this up before. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm remembering different numbers. So then it's not quite as low as the average. Let's see. Yeah, because this is showing a little bit higher. Pew Research Center is also showing a little bit higher. So maybe they're not. Maybe I'm remembering different numbers. Maybe I'm remembering. What am I remembering? Maybe I'm remembering the number of apprehensions, not encounters. Maybe that's what it is. So anyways, I was wrong on that, because Pew Research Center is backing that. So they were sitting at like just under 100,000, and under the Trump administration, it was like 50,000. So it was a little bit off. I think it was apprehensions I was remembering. So that's my bad. Yeah, I don't remember it being 100,000 a month either. But Pew Research Center is showing the numbers that would be averaging out to just over 100,000. So yeah, because this is. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see if I can pull the numbers. Well, nobody's calling in. If you guys still support Trump, you guys can call in or join the guest request box. Since you guys, I don't know where you guys all disappeared to. Wait, hold on. I'm missing up my numbers over here. Where is, let's see. Yeah, so this is showing the reduction, right? So we had, okay, yeah. So here's what I was actually looking at. So that it's actually not my bad. I wasn't wrong. Well, I wasn't completely wrong. I was actually just misreading this chart. Funny enough. Okay. So right here is where they tried to pass the bill, right? And that's when Donald Trump blocked the bill that would have helped the border. And that's when you start seeing the decreases, and that's when you saw the executive order, and it went down to 179, 170, 130, 104, 107, 101, 106, 94, 96, right? And then went down to 61, right? So like right in there. So Biden's last month where he had most of the month, well, last full month was like 96,000. He had 94, 96, and then it was like 61 right here. Something right around there. So yeah, it was a little bit higher. So my numbers are slightly off. But hey, they were going down significantly. I have no reason to believe they wouldn't have continued to keep going down. So, Helena, thank you so much for the $25 over on Venmo. I really appreciate that. It says coffee and pizza. I do love coffee and pizza. So yeah, I was a little off on my numbers there. That's okay. Hello, how are you? I stand corrected. Hello, how are you?
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to come on here.
Okay. Don't sound so scared. It's okay. Yeah, it was still going down. It would have gone down significantly anyway. I'm not too worried about it. So, but yeah, we're a little bit higher than that. Yeah, it happens. Guys, I said I don't leave any notes here. So if sometimes I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to mix up numbers. It happens. You can't worry about it. I could be one of those guys that just freaking reads notes the whole time. Then I'll never be wrong. I could just come up here and just read notes like half the freaking people out here, and then I'd never get any number wrong. Let's get this thing up to 175 or 275,000 likes. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Again, if this is more Trump, you can join the guest request box or call on the number on my head. Ooh, make sure you guys send those heart me's. And if anyone would like to help me with the little cactuses over here, help me clear my live gift goal, I'd really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Why do I keep clicking on that? Who the fuck is Frank? You guys keep talking about Frank. Who the fuck is Frank? Thank you so much, Ryan. I appreciate that. Who the fuck is Frank? People keep saying Frank. Someone said, I feel like my dog would make a better president and she would wear more hats. Yeah, probably. I was going to put up that picture of Donald Trump trying to bring Epstein back to life. But then I realized everybody had it up today. So I was like, that's dumb. Yeah, I don't know where this whole you don't trust the government. Like, remember when Republicans were the people who were like super that like we don't need the government. Like, we don't need the government. Like, the government needs to stay out of our lives. We don't need to trust the government. And then now all of a sudden Republicans are like, we need to believe everything the government says. Isn't that weird? Isn't that strange? Yeah. Tread on me harder, daddy. Tread on me harder, daddy. It's all Frank's fault. Man, Frank, I don't know what you did, Frank, but fuck you. Okay? Frank, I don't know who you are or what you did. All right? But like, fuck you, Frank. All right? I'm just sick of you. I don't know. Somebody just hates Frank, so I'm just agreeing with him. King, thank you so much for the laughing disco. I really appreciate that. People are literally yelling it. They're screaming. You guys should see that. Oh, you guys can see my chat. Some of you guys can see the chat on my screen. They are screaming at Frank.
I do it. Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, I don't know. Frank is really giving it to people. I don't know why that guy's kid was screaming either. I don't know who Frank is. People keep saying like I have one chat, and in that chat, people keep just screaming that they hate Frank. I don't know who Frank is, but they are mad at Frank. Hello?
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 Do you support Trump too?
No.
Why? Are you a liberal sissy?
Am I a liberal sissy?
Yeah, bro.
Did you not learn English in school?
I can't hear you. Can you speak up?
No.
Hello?
Hello?
Gosh, bro, why are you screaming? Lower your tone, dickhead.
What? Hello?
Why do you not support Trump? He's doing good stuff.
Hello? Hello? Are you there? Hello?
They're making our community safer.
Safer for what? Not for children.
Gosh, this guy's in hearing aids.
I know it's not making it safer for children.
Shut up. It's safer because they get all the bad people out.
No, you're still here, sounds like.
Huh? Don't talk to me. Are you just jealous? Trump's the better president, I'm gonna be honest.
Hey,
He's the
Mark
best
Carney
president of
just
all
gained a
time.
majority in the House of Commons in Canada.
Yeah, shut up. No one cares. But Trump's the best president of all time.
W's
I stand with
Canada.
ICE. I
W's
stand
Canada
with
in the
MAGA.
house.
Make America great again.
Can we get
The
W's for
Democrats
Canada in
killed
the
Charlie
house?
Kirk.
Can we get W's in the chat for Canada? Oh yeah, Canada. Maybe we'll follow suit in the
You're from
midterms. What do you
Canada?
guys think?
Why do you not like Trump, dude? I think he's the best person of all time.
You think he's the
He's
best
the
person
top
of all
5
time?
persons to ever live. Trump is the top 5 person to ever live.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Like, when your parents are siblings, does it make family reunions weird?
What?
I said, when your parents are siblings, does it make family
Dude,
reunions
did you
weird?
even go to high school? Do you know proper English?
Did you get made fun of in high school because your parents were siblings?
Because my parents were siblings?
Well, I assume they still are
you're
siblings.
freaking weird.
You know, until your uncle daddy cheated on your sister mom. You know,
Sure, bro.
with
Whatever
with
you
your
say, yeah, you're
with your
probably
with
closer
with
to
with
50
your
than
with your
zero,
with
I'm
your
being
uncle
honest, bro.
cousin. You know what I'm saying?
Grown ass man sitting on the couch arguing. Like, bro, shut up. You're just jealous. Trump's the best person probably to ever live. He's doing good work. You see, has bad work.
When the meth kicks in, do you lose your teeth immediately, or does it take some time?
Huh?
Do you lose your hearing first? Is that what it
Shut
is?
up. Don't talk.
Yeah. This is a weird couch, don't you think? I'd like to get your mom on the couch.
You're supposed to be like having a political debate, but you're saying different stuff. So why are you even on TikTok Live?
I bet you I'm cuter than your uncle daddy.
Just
So
take
I bet
down
your
the
mom.
account.
I could be your new dad.
Just take down the account if you're not gonna
Man,
have a
I could
political
be your
debate
new
and bring in,
dad. You excited
I'm a
about
what?
that?
New gen?
Yeah. You excited about that?
Excited about new gen?
I just want to let you know that when your dad left
Dude,
to
he's
get
like 40
to get
years
cigarettes, okay?
like
When your
40
dad left
years
to get
old.
cigarettes, he did not come
You're
back
like
because the
40
store
years-
wasn't out. It was 100% because of you.
How about you have a political debate? You're like 40 years old.
Okay, it was 100% because of you. It had nothing to do with your mom.
Because of-
He actually saw you and he was like, "Fuck this shit, I'm out, dude." Like, I just gone, right? And I don't blame him. All right, I don't blame him. I would have left you too.
You're like 40 years old, bro. You're having political debates. How about you have a political debate, huh? Tell me why. Tell me why Trump is.
Tell me why he ain't nothing but a heart. Tell me why he ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Chills, literal chills. Literal chills. Tell me why. Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
I'm 27.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
I'm kind of in the middle ground right now.
Okay. Why would you possibly be in the middle ground right now?
Well, I just have a question for you. Like, in terms of our supply chain, I'm just worried about China. Like, if like we got in a major conflict with China, like tomorrow, and they shut off all imports, like we shut off all imports from China, like, do you think we'd be okay? Like, what would we do? Honestly,
Probably not. No, we'd probably be fucked.
It's just something I've been worried about, and like, honestly, I just really want an answer. Like,
Well, the good news is there's no point in worrying about it, because if it happens, you're just fucked anyway, right? So,
well, you know,
my therapist tells me that all the time. We don't spend time worrying about things that we can't control, right? We spend time worrying about things that we can control, and you cannot control the global supply chain or, you know, our import levels from China. So you should stop worrying. You can sleep easy tonight.
Do you think in terms of foreign policy, like, is there anything we can do there? Or, you know, even domestic policy, like Republican or Democrat, like you know?
Yeah, there's a ton we can do. We can actually, you know, put people into power that are actually going to put constraints on the president, not let him start wars that freaking make everybody's gas and food prices go through the fucking roof and get American soldiers killed. We can, you know, put in politicians that actually have good agenda items, not people that are just the most electable according to the Democrat or Republican Party, and people that are actually going to do things that are good for America. Yeah, for the United States. I think we can do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at candidates though, like whichever candidate gets the most amount of money, they like win like 80% of the time. So it's like the corporate, you know, lobbyists and power.
Yeah, but we control that, right? They get more money, so they get more advertising. When they get more advertising, people see them more, and then they're more likely to vote for them. But it's our job to do the research to actually see who's better, right? Like I just said, like, and again, like, one more shameless plug: Polypolitics podcast coming out 1st of May, right? So stay tuned on YouTube, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts. But that first one will be interview that I do will be with Antonio Reynoso out of New York, who is a completely grassroots candidate who got all of his money, you know, from donors, nothing from the DNC, nothing from super PACs, none of that sort of stuff, right? And is running a campaign like that is, you know, that I think is like really, really awesome. Like, I don't know if he's going to win or anything like that, right? I don't, but I know that he's, you know, he's not taking money from big corporations and stuff like that, right? So we don't have to worry about those sorts of things. We have people that are actually running for office that, you know, that have good ideas and grassroots ideas and ideas that are actually there to help the American people and have done things in their past that have shown that they're willing to make, you know, good moves and big moves for the American people, right?
I hope democracy and this capitalist experiment works, you know. I don't want socialism. I want capitalism to work for everyone, you know.
I think we need a bit of socialism, right? We always need a bit of socialism. It doesn't mean that we have to be, you know, doesn't mean that we have to be like completely socialist, but I think there is certain things that I think are really good to be socialist, right? Like I think in New York, Zoran just announced in New York that they're going to do the first like state-owned or city-owned grocery store. That's super cool, right? So now we have grocery stores.
I know. Like right now, we're spending over $1 trillion on our debt. Like, our interest on our debt is over $1 trillion. That's more than the defense budget and education combined. I mean, at this trajectory, it's going to be really bad. So, like, what are we going to do?
Again, we're going to keep pushing things. We're going to keep pushing things forward, and we're going to keep representing people, you know, in the United States that are doing good things. And we're going to go out there and we're going to vote for those people in, and we're going to stop voting in fascists like Donald Trump. Yep, that's what we're going to do.
I wouldn't call him a fascist, but
I would.
I wouldn't call him that. But I can tell you're very intelligent. That's for sure.
That's the second person that said that today. Y'all, if I get told a third time, I might actually get a little big head about it.
Don't get a big head.
Yeah, I might. No, well, two, I won't right now. Two, I won't do it. But a third one comes out, I'm gonna get a big head about it. I can't help it. Okay.
All right. Well, you have a great night.
You too. All right. Bye. Yeah, two's fine. I won't get a big head over two, but three, call it a day. All right. 3, I will totally get a big head about it. Y'all, make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. Let's get this thing up to 300,000 likes. Send those heart me's. And if you'd like to support the live, you know I have my live gift goal of the dancing cactuses over here. I might change that up in a bit. We'll see. I might do something different. And but I also have super chats, super stickers. I love to read the super chats, so I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good. I saw your TikTok. Why?
This is like the worst impression of somebody over 18 that I've ever heard in my life.
What are you talking about?
You sound like you're talking to me like this. How are you trying to talk to me? I swear, Mr. Person, please sell me the alcohol.
Bro, what are you doing? What?
Please,
Hello?
please sell me the alcohol, please. I am 100% of age. My name is McLovin, and I am of age. Okay. It was either that or Muhammad. Why would it be that or Muhammad? It's the most popular name in the world, man. Duh, read a book. Hello, how are you?
Cocksucking idiot.
Well, that wasn't very nice. Hello, how are you? Hello. I don't think they're there. I think they left.
Hello?
Hello?
I'm back again.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hello, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going great. How old are you?
32.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Yeah, I had a quick question. What happened to the Q picture in the background?
What happened to what in what on the background?
You used to have a schoolboy Q picture in the background.
Bro, go take care of the kid. Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, you're gay.
Bro. That kid was fucking screaming. Holy shit, bro. Goodness gracious, man. Holy shit. Thank you guys so much, Zazu and Wakanda. I appreciate it. Wakanda, thank you so much. Jesus Christ, bro. Holy fuck. Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
Not old enough, but I just wanted to say, have a great day.
You too. Appreciate you. That kid was screaming. Yeah, I know. I was like, dude, go watch your kid. And that made him very mad. I know my parents didn't love me and I turned out just fine.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
I'm 18, sir.
What year were you born?
When was I born? I was born October 25th, 2006.
Nope. Nice try, man. Bad math. Hello, how are you?
Hello?
Nope, you're also a child. Yeah, I was like, I'm not great at math, but I know if you were born in October of 06, that means you would be turning 20 this year, which means you're 19 now, which means you're not 18. Okay? Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. How old are you?
I'm 45.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Yes, I do, because he's doing what he said he was going to do. He's protecting our country. He's taking care of business.
You mean like when he said he was going to end the war on
What
Ukraine?
other presidents have been afraid to do. And deep
You mean
down, I
like
think
when
you
he
know
said
that.
like when he said he was going to lower your grocery prices, or when he said he was going to lower your gas prices, or when he said he was going to end the war between Russia and Ukraine within 24 hours?
You weren't complaining when the gas is high with Biden. You
Yes, I
weren't
was.
complaining. Hold on once. Oh, God, I got to take a big shit. Hold on.
All right. Probably get that checked out, man. Hello, how are you?
Good.
Yep, you're a child. What is people up like? Oh, you guys didn't say anything when Biden was right. Yeah, I said, yeah, this fucking sucks. I went to the gas pump and said, And I know I'm really bad, which is like, I feel bad because I know some of you guys are like actually like suffering with gas prices, but I drive a little tiny car, and I live in Florida. So like the other day I went to go fill up my gas tank. It was like a few days ago, and I had to put in like $40, and I was so angry. I was like so mad. Like I was at the pump, just like actually angry. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Awesome. How old are you?
I am 31.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. Why is that?
Let's see, I came on here to talk about Gavin Newsom, but oh shit, I gotta take a dump.
Oh shoot, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, I like literally like put in, it was like, I don't even think it was quite $40. I think it was like $38. And I got like just furious, dude. I was so mad. Yeah, I was so mad. Like, I think I actually yelled, "Fuck you, Donald Trump." Yeah, I think I actually yelled, "Fuck you, Donald Trump." Also, well, hold on. Do you guys ever, where's your guys' gas at in California? Because one of my California followers sent me a gas thing that was $6.60. I don't know if it might have been like premium or something. I'm not really sure. It might have been like premium or something. But I was really hoping it would get to $6.66. Oh no, it's just regular.
Hello.
Yeah, I was hoping to get to $6.66, and somebody's supposed to send me a picture. If it gets to $6.66, somebody needs to send me a picture, okay? Hello, how are you?
Hello. Oh, I'm doing good.
Yeah, you sound like a child. Yeah. Did they just skip it? Yeah. If they skip it, I'm gonna be so mad. Hello, how are you?
Doing good, you?
Doing great. How old are you?
21.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Yep.
Awesome. Why is that?
Well, because of what he's doing on Iran, his border policy, the fact that he's actually willing to take a sledgehammer to the system, fight for the unheard working men of America, men and women of America, and he's not going to take any runaround from the deep state.
Yeah, awesome. So his way of helping the working man is to raise all their prices and slow their real wage growth and raise inflation and help put a bunch of small businesses out of business. That's how he helps the working man.
Well, you got to do what you got to do to Americanize the infrastructure. If you got all these businesses dependent on China and other countries, you can't just keep them dependent on other countries. You got to take a little bit of suffering and get over it at some point if you ever want to fix the country. 96% of our medication is made by India. Let's fix that next.
Okay, well, he's not even fixing the first part because manufacturing isn't returning here, and we're losing jobs at like a pretty astonishing rate. Nobody's coming here, and honestly, most of his tariffs have been found to be unconstitutional. So nobody even is going to even listen to anything that he has to say. That's why you haven't really heard much from Donald Trump on any trade things. You think he'd be trying to distract from this war with a whole bunch of things talking about trade and all these other things, but you haven't heard like literally fucking anything from him lately. And that's because he's not doing anything. All he's doing is building his ballroom.
Well, right now he's currently worried about the war in Middle East and making sure we don't get nuked by a bunch of people who are killing for sport.
Gotcha. We're getting nuked by people who don't have nuclear weapons?
No, we are getting, it's possible that we could get nuked by people who are getting nukes from China and Russia, the other people we got to go to war with.
Oh, gotcha. So we're destroying Iran's navy to stop them from getting nukes from Russia?
Exactly. Yeah, they can't get any more nukes on their ship. We're going to blockade them and starve them out, and they're going to have to give up.
Do you think that ships are the only way to carry nukes?
No, I don't think ships
If they
are
were
the
to
only
buy
way to carry
nukes, why
I think
wouldn't the countries that are selling them just deliver the nukes?
They can. They would get their planes blown out of the sky.
Yeah, gotcha. So we're blowing Chinese and Russian planes out of the sky?
I would love to see it.
I didn't say you were loving to see it. You said that Donald Trump is doing. Are we doing that?
No, we're currently blowing up
So
Iran.
again, a country that doesn't have nuclear weapons, has no nuclear weapon infrastructure, is somehow being stopped from getting weapons from other countries who could just give them the stuff if they wanted them to. Makes sense.
You know they're going to give them the nukes. It's just common sense. North Korea's
They
already
probably
offered
are
to do
now,
it.
yeah.
If you don't think...
It
if
wouldn't
you don't
surprise me
think
now.
that-
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they do now, to be completely honest with you. You're right about that. But that's because of what Donald Trump did, not in spite of it.
Let them try.
Yeah, what are we going to do? Go to
Donald
war with
Trump is
China
the
over
only
it?
only person that's going to fight for this country. I mean, all these crooked politicians, since JFK, it's been nothing but Israel-controlled actors.
You mean like Donald Trump literally fighting this war for Israel?
He's no Zionist. He does his own thing. He doesn't take orders from them.
We literally had the director of anti-terrorism literally come out and say that it was very obvious that the U.S. government only did this because of Israel.
You want to talk about Zionists? We can talk about the Biden.
No, I just want to talk about how the director of Anti-Terrorism Center for the United States says we did this specifically because of Israel.
Because Israel gave us the info? Is that what he said? Or are you trying to...
No, because Israel
I heard
talked us
what
into
was
it.
said. Israel gave us info, and that's what had happened.
No, even
For
Marco
the first
Rubio
time,
said
for
the only reason we went to
12-day
war
war
with them
war.
is because Israel wanted to go to war with them, and we needed to hit them before Iran retaliated against Israel. So the only reason we did it was because of Israel.
Yeah, that's the narrative on the left wing.
That was Marco Rubio that said that.
Neutral.
That was Marco Rubio that said that.
Marco Rubio said that. Where did Marco Rubio say that? That's what I've heard
In front
on,
of a
my
podium with his
discussion in
mouth.
left-wing areas.
Yeah.
So basically, let me ask you a question. Let me put this in reverse. What did Biden do better than Donald Trump? Because all he did was ask for ice cream and shit his pants.
All he did was pass some of the most meaningful legislation in American history.
What legislation? It was
The
probably
largest
through the
infrastructure
working
bill
man,
in
like
American
usual.
history, the Chips and Sciences Act, the PACT Act.
I knew you were going to say it. That CHIPS Act. Yeah, that CHIPS Act that he had to beg
Thank you for
Republicans
ignoring
support
all the
for.
rest of the policy that I just talked about.
I knew you were going to say that. And what about the 1994 crime bill by Joe Biden? You know anything about
So
that?
let me get this straight. So you asked, what did Biden do besides shit himself and eat ice cream? I just gave you 3 of some of the most influential policies that have ever existed in the United States. And you were going to ignore that to go back to before you were born?
No, I'm just giving you a very valid point. I know you guys are all
No, how
about
about you
your
talk about the
diversity
actual
and
policies from
inclusivity.
Biden's administration that he actually implemented, because that's what you asked for. You asked me for the policies that Joe Biden implemented in his term that were so great. I'm giving them to you. Why don't you address those?
What did they do for the American people?
What did the infrastructure bill do? It put over $1 trillion towards roads, bridges, airports, internet connections, piers, all sorts of things all the way across the United States. Fixing roads, fixing bridges, fixing highways, creating freaking hundreds of
someone
thousands of
should have taken
jobs.
Mr. Biden up here to Maine, because all our infrastructure is 50 years old and they don't do anything except give the tax money away to new Americans. Gee, they should have sent Biden up here.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. There's like 3 new projects in my like small area, like that are all being funded by
You
that
must be in
infrastructure bill.
LA. There's always projects.
Okay. Well, which ones of those projects are funded by the infrastructure bill and which ones aren't?
Probably none of them are funded
So
by the
probably none of them. So
infrastructure
you
bill
have
because-
absolutely no fucking clue is what you're saying.
No, do you think I look into what the frig Biden's doing because he's an evil communist?
Gotcha. So you don't know what Biden's doing, but he's not doing it because you don't want to look into it. Awesome. What's the definition of
I know
communism?
what he's doing wrong. I know
Awesome.
what
What's
he's
the
doing wrong.
definition?
What about
Awesome. What's the
Ashley? What about
definition of
Ashley's
communism?
diary? What about
Awesome.
Ashley
What
Biden's
is the
diary?
definition of communism?
What about
Sir, what's the definition of communism?
what is Biden's diary?
What is the definition of communism? Last chance before I hang up on you.
Fuck you.
No, thank you. I've had better offers. Caller's still there. Can you even spell communism? Can you spell fuck you? Yeah. Anyways, he's gone. Anyways, y'all, make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Oh, we're getting so close to 300,000 likes and so close to 200 heart me's. We're at like 172. We can definitely get this thing up to 200 before we're off of here. I really appreciate it. Also, if you guys like to support, I do have the little hearts going on. So if you guys like to send those, I need like 8 more of those to clear out that live gift goal. I appreciate it. And Lovely Goddess, thank you so much for the $5. That isn't spring break over? Shouldn't these kids be in bed to go to school in the morning? They would be, Lovely, but they don't have parents that love them. So nobody's telling them to go to bed because their parents don't love them. Yeah. But thank you so much, Lovely Goddess. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
I'm 34.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Yeah.
Awesome. Why is that?
Probably because the border crossings are way down. I'm a big fan of going back to the original interpretation of the 14th Amendment.
Awesome. So
outside of targeting BRICS nations.
Awesome.
Venezuela,
so what's a
Cuba,
border encounter?
Probably Iran as well, a little bit, but not as much.
Yeah. So what's a border encounter?
Oh, I didn't say encounter. That's actually not what I said.
What did you say? Because it sounded like you said border encounters are down. I'm pretty sure that's what you just said.
Border encounters are actually still pretty high. They're encountering them. We're just turning them away.
Yeah, but you said border encounters are down. That's what you said.
Oh, well, then I misspoke because border encounters are still in the.
All right. So what did you mean?
Legal crossings are down.
So what did you mean?
From like 1.4 and 1.3 million to like 240.
So what did you mean?
People aren't coming across the border illegally as much anymore.
All right. And what data do you have to prove that?
Oh. Let me Google it.
So the data you have to prove that is you have no data. Let me try to find the data now.
Oh, no, I had it up.
Then why are you Googling it?
Do you know what it is, by the way?
Then why are you Googling it?
Oh, I don't know because I have tabs open.
Okay, gotcha. So you had the data, but now you didn't need to Google it because you already had it up, but now you're Googling it. All right, perfect. So what did your Google search tell you?
Hold on. All right. Somewhere, it's 247 down from like 1.2 million.
Gotcha. And what data are you showing? Are you looking at? And who is telling you that?
CBP border numbers.
CBP border numbers. Okay, because I have CBP border numbers up, and that's the number of encounters. But you said you weren't talking about encounters. You were talking about people that were getting in. Because I literally have Customs and Border Protection numbers up from 2 callers ago. Okay, and they're right here, and these are talking about encounters by month. So you said not encounters, people that were actually coming in. So where are you getting that data?
I think it's from CBP.
Okay, I'm on CBP. I have it on the screen, and those are talking about encounters.
All right. Where is it? So it is U.S. Customs and protocols for the fiscal year 23, and that said it was 2,045,000 for 2023, according to the U.S. Customs and let me see here, U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Scroll down to inadmissibles. And it's 237 in 2025 from DHS CBP FY 205 total.
Okay, where are you getting that number from?
Send you the link.
No, you just send me the link. You can just tell me what the top of it is called. You can tell me the website and then what the top of it is called, and I can just bring it up.
Lowest fiscal year for Border Patrol apprehensions since 1970, DHS Gov News.
Of apprehensions, I'm not talking about apprehensions. You said the number of people that are getting into the United States. If they were apprehended, they weren't getting in. Okay, so it's not encounters and it's not apprehensions. I asked you where you got the numbers of people that got into the United States because that's what you
turning
said.
them away, then they're not getting it. We're not
That's
letting
not true.
getaways come in.
We actually apprehended way more people under the Biden administration, yet way more people came in the United States because we had more people showing up. So that doesn't mean anything. Where's the number of people that have gotten into the United States? Wait, you said that number was significantly
I think that's
higher.
amazing, actually. If Trump's policies are turning people away from trying to come in from just a fiscal migration standpoint,
Or they're just not catching as many.
Fantastic opportunity. Do you have proof of that?
No, I don't. And neither do you. That's why I'm asking for your proof.
Oh, I do have proof. We've apprehended more people.
Yeah, but you don't know what that number is in comparison to how many people have actually gotten in.
But I know we're apprehending more people. So I do have proof that we're apprehending more people. And then you're saying there's fewer encounters. So there's few people coming in and we're apprehending more of them.
Sir, let me see if I can explain to you how math works. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
go
cool.
for it.
Perfect. Not a problem.
I don't know, 1 million people show up and now it's down to 500,000. Damn good job by Trump.
Sir, I'm trying to explain to you how math, I'm sorry your middle school math teacher failed you. I'm going to try to help you out, okay? Okay?
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
If 100,000 people are coming up to the border and we're catching 10% of them, okay, that's 10,000 people that we apprehended. If 1 million people come over and we catch 10% of them, right? That's 100,000 people, right? That doesn't mean less people have come into the United States just because we're apprehending more. Unless we know the amount of people that freaking got into the country around them, right? Then we don't know how many people got in based off of those apprehensions.
Have we increased border security or decreased it?
Not much of either.
No, we've increased it.
Well, then why'd you ask me?
States like Texas.
Can you give me proof of that?
Yeah, Texas.
Because you can't give me proof. You can't give me proof of your first statement of how many people came in the United States. So I was wondering if you can give me proof of this one, maybe. You already failed on giving your proof of the last one.
Oh, proof of we have fewer people coming into the U.S. So you think we have more or the same?
I didn't say that. I think we had more.
You think we have more now?
I didn't say that.
Oh, I'm sorry. What do you think?
I think that you can't prove how many people are coming into the United States. That's the point. You are making a number up out of your fucking ass. So so you're just basing it off of your fucking feelings. That means absolutely nothing. And so that's what I am saying. So no, do I think that we have more or less people coming in, undocumented into this country? I think it's probably pretty close to the same, to be completely honest with you. I don't think it's much more or less than when Biden left office.
That's completely. We just have fewer people coming to the border completely because now they have an aggressive deportation policy.
Again, you can't prove that, sir. You are just making up that number. You're just making it up based off of your fifis, sir. And I never asked for your opinion.
So we have port of entry access that people are now leveraging at a higher clip, but they're not coming through non-port of access. They're not coming through random stretches. We have much better protection.
Actually, we have less people coming through ports of entry, which would actually indicate that we probably have more people coming in around ports of entry. If you actually want to look historically,
if you're going to say the same amount of people are coming, but they're not.
The same amount of people as the end of the Biden administration. How many encounters were there in the last month of how many encounters were there in the last month of Biden's administration?
Also turning people away on their border, and that's I think a pretty awesome thing that we got.
Again, you have no proof of this, sir. You were just making things up.
Wait. So this is Mexico said that they're implementing border security on their southern border.
Yeah, the Biden administration had over 20,000 troops implementing the same thing in 2024.
In 2024. Right, the very end when he was losing.
Why is it? You mean the last 25% of his friggin' administration? Literally, guys, I don't think you seem to understand this. The first year and a half of his presidency was Title 42, which was a complete border shutdown. Okay, complete border shutdown. And the last year, he signed an executive action which completely shut down friggin' shut it down. So literally, 60-something% of Biden's administration, actually almost 70% of Biden's administration, was almost complete freaking border shutdown. What are you talking about?
From COVID, right? Not because of his immigration policy, because of COVID, everything was shut down.
Well, that's the exact same reason why Donald Trump had a low average, and you still give him credit for it in his first term. His entire low average in his first term was completely based off of Title 42.
No. I'm saying COVID is what shut down the border during Biden.
Correct.
No, yeah. when do you think COVID happened?
Well, technically, it's still happening.
Yeah, but it wasn't happening in 2017 and 18 and 19, and he was already improving border security. But besides the point, Title 14
He actually wasn't. Actually, he wasn't improving border security. Actually, if you look at the numbers between 2017, 2018, 2019, they're almost 2016, 17, 18, 19, they're almost identical. Actually, they got a little worse.
From when?
From when Donald Trump took office, they actually got a little worse into his presidency until Title 42. That's why he was literally running commercials, like literally on television, begging Congress to fucking pass a new immigration policy because he was getting 10,000 border encounters a day in like 2018,
right.
2019.
Yeah. And then he executive ordered.
Nope. And then Title 42 happened. COVID happened.
Can you cite your numbers?
CBP.gov.
I said that. And yeah. So show me where on CBP. What's the article?
Sir, they literally have to go to each one through each number, right? But if you really want to look at the encounter numbers all the way through, you can actually pull right here. And here is CBP.gov, CBP encounters over the last 10.
I'm saying that, but it's not about encounters. Because Biden was encountering and then letting them in and then not even processing them. And we got so backlogged. Trump wasn't processing them. So if you're going off of encounters, then you have some pretty shit data probably pulled out of your own fucking feces.
Yeah. Well, you can say that, but also while you've been running your mouth, the entire chart of what I was talking about has been on the screen for everybody to read. So
I can't see it.
I know. And I was trying to explain to you that it was on the screen and trying to explain to you what was on it, but you were too busy running your mouth. So I just let you continue. But you guys all see this little fucking spike right here. This is during the Trump administration. So actually he took office over here, right? And you see how it started to increase and then it spiked and then it spiked and then it spiked and it went all the way up. And then boom, COVID hit. And then we had in Title 42 right here at the end of 2019. And then it went down and down and down and down and down because of Title 42. Oh, excuse me. And then Biden came into office and then we had the ending of Title 42. And then we saw it go up, 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 mostly because of all the backlog that was going on right here and the destabilization of the Northern Triangle. And then we had up, 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 up. Yep. And then we see right here in 2024, well, it started to go down. Boop, 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 boop. Charts are fun. Aren't charts fun, guys? I love charts.
I can't even see it on my phone. But I think he's doing a much better job on Border Patrol, for sure. And I'm also a huge fan of his executive order on the 14th Amendment. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, it's unconstitutional.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Why?
Because the Constitution says that you're a U.S. citizen if you're born here. And that's already been reaffirmed like a half dozen times by the Supreme Court. It's not even close.
What does it specifically say?
All persons born or naturalized in the within the jurisdiction of the United States are U.S. citizens. Of course, I'm paraphrasing a bit.
No, that's not what it is. Oh, yeah. Well, so what does it actually say?
I don't know, sir. You want to fucking read it to me?
Well, so I mean, if you say it's unconstitutional, you don't even know what it says, then that means
sir, I don't have the Constitution memorized. If you'd like to read it off for me word for word, go ahead. I'm sorry. Could you please recite Article 2 of the Constitution for me?
I'm not going to right now. That's what I'm talking about.
No. Why don't you go ahead and recite Article 2 of the Constitution? Here, I'll do an easier one for you. Why don't you recite to me? No, sir. Why don't you recite to me the 24th Amendment?
Hold on. Don't deflect.
No. We're not deflecting, sir. If you were saying that I don't know the Constitution, if I can't recite every single part of it, then I want you to recite a different part of it so that you can prove your point. Recite to me the 24th Amendment right now.
Yeah. We're going to stay with the 14th.
Oh, because you can't fucking do it, sir, because you don't need to have the exact fucking Constitution memorized word for word to understand the Constitution, sir. So stop trying to freaking gaslight people and make yourself try to sound smart because you probably have it pulled up and you're fucking reading it. Jesus fucking Christ. It just makes you look like a fucking idiot, okay?
Okay. What does the 14th Amendment say?
I've already said, since you have it pulled up, just fucking read it. I'm not going to repeat myself again.
The key clause.
No, just read the 14th Amendment. I don't need to hear your fucking important clause. Just read the fucking thing.
So so all persons born or naturalized in the U.S. and subject to the jurisdiction thereof, critical section there are citizens of the U.S.
That's exactly what I fucking said. That's exactly what I fucking said. That is literally word for word what I fucking said. I said that exact same fucking thing. Are you fucking kidding me? You literally said that I didn't know what I was talking about for not knowing the Constitution, and I literally said those exact motherfucking words. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you that big of a fucking gaslighting piece of shit that I literally recited those exact words for you off the top of my fucking head, and then you told me I was fucking lying, and then read those exact fucking words? Holy shit, is that how much of a sad fucking human being you have become? That you literally, I recited it word for fucking word off the top of my head because that's how much smarter I am than you. And it took you all that time to literally pull it up on Google to read the exact words that I had already fucking, like said off the top of my head. We wasted so much time with you trying to talk shit about me not knowing the fucking Constitution, and I literally recited it for you off the top of my fucking head. Holy shit. You could have saved us we could have been to a whole nother part of the conversation if you had just stopped crying about me not knowing the Constitution and just read the thing to prove that I was fucking right. Holy fucking shit, dude. Well, you know what, sir?
The subject.
No, shush. Shush. No one can hear you. You're muted. And I'm not unmuting you until you shush. All
okay.
Right. So, what I was going to say is I'm well over my 3-hour mark, and now that I've absolutely schooled you, I'm getting off the fucking phone. So have a wonderful night, okay?
Bitch.
Yeah, you are a little bitch. That was sad, bro. Dude, we could have had a whole other conversation about shit if that dude had just admitted, yep, you recited the Constitution right. Holy shit. That fucking easy. I wasn't even going to take that last call because I was already almost at my 3-hour mark and I took it, but that was fucking wild. Anyways, FTT, thank you so much. Vicky, thank you so much. Groove, thank you so much. I really appreciate all you guys. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys. I'll be back on tomorrow night. Same time, same great time, same rap channel. I'll see you guys later, okay? Love you guys. Smoochies. Bye.